Welcome back, everybody, to Tabletop Notch. Hello.
Yes.
We're coming back with Chapter 72 this evening, and for the first time in a long time, the party has split. The old adage, never split the party. Well, sometimes you have to split the party, otherwise it takes too long to do shit. What are you gonna do?
That's true.
That's the whole adage.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? So tonight we'll be splitting up to investigate some of the other townships of Navika-Puras. We've been in Nagarwis. We've been in... Oh wait, it's on this one. We've been in Nagarwis, but we are traveling to the other townships. And we will see what they have in store for us. Before we jump in, thoughts, questions, things to say?
Another brand new, before and after the stream video is up. We have all of our subscribers mostly up to date at this point, so thank you everybody for your patience on that one.
Yeah.
Also...
all Genesis and then 41 through 71 is now up on podcast is now up on Spotify and Apple Podcast.
Wherever you like listening.
Wherever you like listening.
If you want to catch up, Genesis was a good place to jump in because it was sort of the end of an arc and the beginning of a new one. So feel free to listen in on that. Anything else?
Of course there is.
Today is October 3rd, so it is National Mean Girls Day, if anybody's a fan.
They say it in the movie for a second.
I see.
Yeah,
they say it in the movie.
also, if your name's Kevin, it's National Kevin Day. I know, very special.
Have we had any Kevins on the
Wait, Kevin's have a whole
NPCs?
They have a whole day, and today's that day.
Is Kevin in Mean Girls?
No,
Okay,
it's
unrelated.
a separate holiday.
Got it.
And also, this is a great one. It's National Unity Day. I like it.
The party
We're splitting up!
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
basically,
Way to celebrate.
Split the
so there you
party.
go.
Split your party up on.
Good one.
A National
Some
Unity
classic
Day.
holidays to celebrate, throw a
Thank
party,
you.
give a gift,
Absolutely classic.
eat some cake.
Give a gift to all your Kevins.
Yeah.
Oh, I have
Kevin's
so
out
few
there.
Kevins in my life.
And I'd like to echo Jordan's sentiments that thank you for waiting while we sort of work through the new Captain's Log. We've been happy to sort of update the look and throw in a little shout outs to some of our longtime subscribers, which again, thank you guys so much. It means a lot to us. So we will throw it to the intro and then we'll come back, do the recap, and then dive into chapter 72. All right, let's do it. See you on the other side.
What? Okay.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
In Chapter 71, Worldly Possessions, a strong showing of willpower from Erland kept the spirit from taking control of his body. But it didn't prevent a fight from breaking out, one that we quickly learned would put our strategic mind to the test. After discovering that these ethereal beings were powerful enough to resist even silvered physical attacks, the burden was on our magic users to deal the damage, while the others ran distractions and sought to complete the mission by turning on the remaining malice tanks. A pair of ghastly reinforcements came in shortly after defeating the first, who in his dying breath mentioned an oath that he had fulfilled, which seemed like a potential clue as to why they were disrupting the Steederway. One of the new arrivals swooped in, and he possessed our ranger, but a compelled flurry of arrows were swept aside by the shield of Graven, who returned fire with a fearsome scorching ray that nearly knocked Safira to the ground. When all of the other threats had been neutralized, Erland and Beezaura assisted Graven in shackling Safira's hands, believing that perhaps we could bring her above ground to the foreman as further evidence of what had transpired. It seemed the ghost had no intention of leaving the tunnel, however, because before we crossed the threshold to the stairs, it wriggled free, and we were forced to destroy it, prompting another set of dying words. Give more than you take. Take from those who refuse to give. It was the memorial phrase of Melvin Hoggs, and before turning in the contract, we thought we might learn more by visiting his daughter, who still lived nearby on the outskirts of town. Unfortunately, Llewellyn Hoggs seemed impervious to questioning, and while we got the sense that she was holding something back, we didn't have any definitive proof that she was lying, so we settled for having done what was asked of us, and we collected our reward. At that point, it was finally time to tackle our individual needs in Navika-Puras, which for Graven and Beezaura meant traveling to the coast, and for the others meant heading west towards Naupa. Before saying our goodbyes, there was just a few things to take care of, notably selling some goods to the eccentric pawn shop owner, Keanu, and then to the mail house, where Erland had a letter waiting for him. It wasn't the only correspondence that would come through during his errands, as a familiar blue glow signaled an incoming transmission through the pages of Grimari's giant grimoire. Marvin Bishop, or whoever was traveling with Marvin, informed us he was just a day away from Navika-Puras, and wanted to set a specific township as a meeting point. Erland indicated Naupa, and was further instructed to find a way to be easily identified, details that he chose not to share with the rest of his traveling companions. With hugs and handshakes, we departed, hoping that the Steederway would soon provide a faster means of transit, but agreeing that in either case, we'd meet back at the inn at Nagarwas to share what we'd learned. As we remounted our horses and hit the road to discover what the other townships had in store, we wondered. What was Graven's plan for locating someone in Wamprani Na who could put him in touch with the man they call Pockets? How does one earn a light whistle chess piece from the wealthy owner of someone in the business of companionship services? And with unknown entities holding the other GGG P216 closing in on Naupa, is having Erland travel with Orba the kind of safety in numbers that Safira and Graven had in mind when they suggested it?
No. Absolutely not.
We find out now on chapter 72 of A Peek Beneath the Veil. Orba, Safira, and Erland begin their trek from Nagarwas to Naguzi, passing through the open gatehouse and crossing to the other side of the Navika River, which confidently carves through the surrounding forest to give you a nice, clear path forward. The road is wide and it's winding, allowing for plenty of space for the carriages and horses to pass by, headed in the opposite direction. You see more people than you're used to traveling on foot, the short distances between the townships meaning that a day trip is relatively non-committal, not forcing one to pack for an overnight stay unless they desire it. If your maps of Navika-Puras are reasonably up to date, and we will bring one of them up here. You'll know that you're getting close when you start to pass through larger stretches of farmland. And after that, when you can spot the church, which you learned from Leto is one of the biggest buildings in the area, having used it as a landmark to identify the location of his own home. Three of you, on horseback, working your way toward Naguzi.
So that large building, that large building right there is the church, right?
You have not arrived in Naguzi
I
yet,
see.
but you know that there is a large church there because Leto told you that's where his house was close to.
Okay, Orba, so what's your plan here? I'm assuming you want to get right to your business. I would like to see, Leto mentioned that he lived around here, so thought maybe we'd pop in.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps on the return we're going to have to pass through Nakuzi again on the way back to the tavern, so perhaps we should, unless you think information gleaned from Leto will...
I mean, it doesn't matter when we do it. I'm just saying Orba's probably got the most urgent business, yeah?
Yes, that's...
A little, yes.
Incidentally, we've picked up bits and pieces of this Celis you're going to meet with.
Yeah.
And his sort of association with the Ironclads, yes?
Mm-hmm.
What exactly are we doing here, Tiefling?
I don't totally know. The only reason why I am going to Celis is because that ghost girl told me to go to Celis.
Yeah.
The ghost girl.
Yeah, the ghost girl who gave me the flower told me to go to Celis. Yeah.
So
And we're doing what the ghost girl wants.
We're doing what the ghost girl
We're doing
wants.
what the ghost girl
She's,
wants.
come through pretty good so far,
What-
so I
and-
figured...
Right.
did she mention what is in regards to the object you have? Is it in regards to something
But
the
yes.
thing you're carrying, the ring that was?
No, just the page. Just the page. Take to Celis.
All right, and so the ring has nothing to.
Nope.
Are the ring and the page related?
I mean, they came from the same place.
But they're not. I'm just trying to get an understanding of what we're walking into, so we're not blindsided by anything, or so that one of us doesn't say something we're not supposed to.
What? What are you getting at? I feel like if anyone's going to say something they're not supposed to, it's going to be you.
Well, You presume much, Safira.
I know I don't, because you're going to ask him for a deal, right?
Just-
you're trying to get a
I'm
contract.
not. Yes, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying to find out. Yes, of course. I've been fairly forthright about that.
No,
I'm not. This is no need for an argument.
I'm
I
not
just want to
begrudging
find
you.
out what we're trying to do.
She said,
Tiefling.
We're going to take this page to Celis. Honestly, I have a feeling I'm going to get some resistance on this, but I would say I go by myself to talk to him. The first time, anyways, at least.
That's fine. If you want alone time
What?
with him, it's fine. I want to stand right outside. I don't have to know what he says to you. I want to know if you scream.
Oh, okay. You guys have a very low expectation of what is going to happen.
No,
here.
I don't think. I think it's unlikely he kills you. I'm just saying. And on the off chance, I'm not gonna. I don't. We've had worse luck. Don't look at me like that.
Okay, here is the plan. I'm going to go to his house. I'm going to knock on his door, and I'm going to say, "Oh, hello. I have something I want to show you." And hopefully, I will also show him the mouthing dregs and some other things that might, get his attention.
What
And
was that you got? The gibbering.
gibbering mouther dregs. They said that Celis was using those
Right.
as magical components for something and hasn't had them in quite some time, so I bought some. They were pretty expensive. So I'm hoping maybe I can get into the house. And then who knows if he receives this, thing, this page, this message, whatever it is, and I'm in his favor, maybe I can ask him for favors. Maybe the advocates will help us out or team up with us, or I don't know, hire you.
Well, remember that the advocates may be in the pockets of the Mullifers now.
Right. That's another reason why maybe I go by myself, so that we don't reveal any kind of allegiances one way or the other.
All right. It's perhaps worth mentioning, given that we're moving increasingly closer to Naupa. Whoever has Marvin Bishop has reached out to me.
What?
It happened recently. This isn't something I've been hiding.
Reese? Okay.
Just before we left.
What did they say?
They said they're a day away from Navika-Puras.
Fuck's sake.
They don't know what, at least I look like, because they asked me to wear. Look, it's written in Marvin Bishop's hand, but it's under. It seems like he's writing under some duress or stress or something. So, and he's not writing like Marvin was in the past.
Okay.
So it's a trap.
Yes, it's a trap, but they don't know what I look like.
Brilliant.
They asked me to wear some sort of identifying
Oh, God.
clothing, which I'm obviously not
What
going
you
to do.
is you pull a guy aside from the street and say, "Hey, sir, would you like to earn 10 gold
No,
today?" And
no.
then you put them in a hat
And
and a
then
mustache.
so that you snipe that poor guy.
Well, yeah, but then he's alive.
What? Absolutely not! No! We're not using human shields. No, absolutely not.
Look,
I'm putting my foot down there.
Regardless, I'm simply mentioning it to be aware if you see people stalking about looking for someone and they're holding a crossbow or something.
Oh, fuck's sake! I hope we can pick them out sooner than that. If they've already got the crossbow on us, we're pretty well fucked, don't you think?
I'm simply... I will deal with that. It's not until tomorrow. I'll deal with that after we've spoken to Celis.
God,
We're speaking
we
to
just
Celis
got
today.
here.
Are you planning for an ambush right now? It's only 24 hours away.
Yeah,
You don't want to
that's a
plan.
good point. If we're gonna do it, we gotta do it now.
Here's the problem. Here's not a problem.
That's the silliest thing I've ever heard. We're gonna get in so much
No,
trouble.
here's the thing. They don't know what I look like.
Oh, we're gonna die.
They don't know who they're ambushing.
but-
They don't know who they're ambushing. It's a
Marvin
very
knows-
silly
Marvin
ambush.
knows-
Are you?
knows
So I'm
what
sure
you
he
look
could
like.
describe.
Then why would they ask me to
Marvin
wear
knows
fancy...
what I look like.
Then why would they ask me to wear fancy clothing?
Well, but for now, what I know is we're both spending money for you on disguises.
No.
Yes.
You don't think they're going to cart Marvin Bishop around by the arm?
I don't know
around
what
Uber?
they're gonna do, but I
And
know they know your face.
They don't. This is exactly what I'm saying. I don't think they do because they asked me to dress.
Because they asked you to wear a
specifically.
silly hat, so
Yeah.
it would be easier to identify you. That doesn't mean they don't know who you are, Erland. That just means that they're trying to make you an easier target.
All
Or
right.
they don't trust Marvin's description of you. Maybe they've asked
That's
him what
true
you look
too.
like.
All right. So regardless,
It's possible
this
he's
is
been
something that's
dishonest.
not going to happen until tomorrow.
Okay.
So today we speak to Celis,
Okay.
and we see where that takes us.
Okay.
I'll also reiterate that Noob is very large. It's one of the two bigger ones, and he said that he would narrow it down further. Like, the odds of someone just combing the entire streets of
Yeah.
Nooba is very
He has yet to narrow it down.
Yes, he has not narrowed it down yet. It's big.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know,
That's right.
that would take serious manpower to just sweep through the streets looking for
Yeah.
one person.
So we talk to Celis today.
Yeah. That sounds good to me.
Okay, and on the way back, we swing by Leto, if you don't mind.
I'll likely need to stay at least in Uber until tomorrow to try and
To die.
To
To be murdered in
no.
the streets wearing a silly hat.
no.
So you're planning on doing this
First of all,
alone?
first of all, I'm not buying a silly hat.
No one's buying a silly hat. But you're gonna do it, so what was your plan? You didn't want help?
I'm telling you now.
Do you want
What's it out?
Okay,
What are you gonna
It's
do?
fine. We will come up with a plan, I'm sure. We're three very smart people.
Are we?
After we...
I think it's readily apparent that I tend to make plans immediately before I need to deal with it. And right now,
Yes,
we're
and maybe
dealing...
it's bitten you in the arse before.
Okay.
Not yet. Right now, I got us out of the Molifair tasting. Remember that? You were all panicked and
Then
frantic.
You're never gonna stop bringing it up.
A little bit of playful bickering is going on. You're riding along in the direction of Nakuzi, and you're sort of talking to each other is interrupted because you see someone a little ways down, and he seems to be shouting, so you can hear him from a distance. And as he passes by each person along the road, he seems to kind of call out to them, and you see people kind of shaking their head and continuing along. He's a very tall, kind of slender human man. He's bearded, and he has a kind of mullet, but not like it was styled that way, just like he let it grow out, and the thinning hair on the top of his head didn't quite fill in as much of as the hair on the back. Awesome. He has loose trousers belted at the waist with a black sash, and no shirt, revealing a canvas of detailed tattoos along his arms, chest, shoulders, and neck. And he's carrying a small wooden chest, sort of this big, and has a handle on top for easier grip. And he uses his long fingers to kind of signal to people on the way by. And as you get a little bit closer, you can start to hear what he's shouting. Mending! Does anyone know mending? Any spellcasters here? Mending, anyone? Are you... Sir, do you know mending? No. Thank you.
Tiefling, do you know mending?
Anyone mending?
But Graven does.
And finally, you guys kind of get close enough that he sort of flags you guys. Does anyone know mending? Spellcasters, anyone who knows mending?
I'm not a spellcaster, sorry.
We have a friend who does, but he is not present at the current time.
He thinks for a moment. How close is he?
Oh, he's planning on going to the coast, sir.
Shit.
What do you need?
He holds up the box a little bit. I commissioned these tools, and they stumbled on my way back to Nakuzi, and a couple of them broke. And they're very particular. He sort of opens it up, he cracks the box a little bit, and you see these kind of long, thin, like wooden tubes, like almost like straws. They're like tattoo needles, like for doing tattoos. Very sort of thin, sort of, and you can see little, they're not in the box at the moment, but there's spots where little inks could be. He seems to have this like mobile tattoo kit that he carries with him. I am an artist, and I commissioned these tools from Sam, who's a Fletcher in Nagarwas. He's very skilled with his hands. Never seen tools so good. they're expensive, and I broke a couple of them, and I was hoping someone could mend them. I would pay for it, but it would be less expensive than having to commission another set of tools.
Right.
Right.
Do you need these immediately? Because I know I'm going to see him tomorrow in Nagarwas.
Where in Nagarwas?
We'll probably be staying at the inn there tomorrow night.
I really need them. If you're sure your friend could do it, because I should get Sam started on another set of tools if he's not going to be able to.
Can I see the damage that's
Yeah, there's
done?
like you can see all these little like sort of thin needles. A couple of them are like split, like as if they kind of
Like a
splintered a
clean
little bit.
split?
Like splintered, but fairly clean. They're not like shattered into a
Okay.
million pieces. Yeah.
I think that could.
Is there the box that he's carrying? Does it seem like it was dropped enough to damage the needles in the way he's describing?
Yeah.
10.
As he opened it, it kind of made a little sound, and one of the hinges looks a little loose. It looks like it could have been. I mean, you don't know for sure that he fell, but it looks like the box got damaged, and that could have been the tool spilled out when it happened. You say your friend can do this,
Yes, I've seen him do it before. He's very good.
and he's definitely going to be there.
Tomorrow night, or at the latest the next morning.
He's
Or
a,
if you want to hunt him down in Wamparangina, you are welcome to.
he's a Goliath. You won't miss him.
There are other Goliaths here in Navika-Puras.
I suppose he's one of the Goliaths.
He typically carries a shield, and Orba describes Graven a little bit more.
I'm going to go ask Sam how much it would cost to replace or recommission a couple of these tools. If it's too expensive, maybe I try and find your friend.
Okay. You can tell him Orba sent you.
Orba. My name's Butez.
Butez?
Butez. B-U-T-E-Z. Butez.
It seems like you yourself are do you do the art on your own body?
I do, yes. It is my trade.
Are you able to remove your art, your tattoos at all?
Perhaps, yes. Is that something you're looking for?
Yes, potentially.
Why don't you come by maybe later tonight or tomorrow morning, and I'll take a look. Depends on the kind of inks used, how long it's been there, a number of things. If I can't have it removed, maybe I could make something to cover it up, if that interests you.
All right, sure. So, where exactly are you located?
He describes where he's located in Nakuzi. I'll get Nakuzi's up here, and we'll bring the map back up.
Cozy is more like
Nice.
And Butez's tattoo parlor
sick.
is... Oh, it's upside down here. Let me make sure I do the right one. It's this little one, like, in this little area right here with these little places.
That little guy.
I'll try and keep my...
I see.
Yeah, right there. My shop is called Marked. It's right along the river across from the blacksmith.
Oh, the blacksmith is across the river, you said?
Yes, back or saddle, yes.
Okay. Got it. Black or Saddle? What is it?
Back or Saddle is the name of the district. The place is called Back or Saddle Blacksmith.
Ah.
Which one is that he's indicating?
He describes it like directly across the river. This one right here.
And so, what was it called?
The Back or Saddle Black. Back or Saddle is one of the neighborhoods of Nakuzi. It's the Back or Saddle Blacksmith.
Orba takes a look at his tattoos and sees if she likes any of the artwork.
Yeah, I mean, what are you looking for? It's very diverse, and what strikes you about it is the artistic styles vary a lot. He seems very adaptable. Like, he doesn't seem to have, like, the whole thing doesn't have one distinct look.
Yeah.
It looks like one arm was kind of done in a particular style, and then he mixed it up for another arm. Like, he experiments a lot, sort of, artistically.
Does it look like the tattoos sort of cover his whole body?
It looks like pretty much everything but his face is covered in tattoos. Yeah.
Could we, this is perhaps presumptuous, but would you mind sort of taking off your cloak so we can see your full work?
He's not wearing a shirt.
Oh, no, but I thought he was wearing like a cape or something.
No, he just has a sash around his waist.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, as you say it, he turns around, he lets you
Okay.
see kind of the full scope of the design.
On his back, does it look like a sevens been covered up or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't look anything without
Imagine.
Mr. Buttes, sir, do you do flowers?
I can, yes.
How-
That is a popular design.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, him doing things.
What do you want to roll this?
How much would the small flower cost?
It depends very much. You'll have to come by and I'll give you a quote for it.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Thanks anyway. I'll keep an eye out for your friend, and if I don't see him, I might just get it done with Sam again.
Sorry we couldn't have have more help.
Thanks anyway.
Yeah.
Sort of takes a couple steps back.
Why don't
Mending! Does anyone know mending?
How come you don't ask Celis?
Celis does not concern himself with small-time appointments like this.
Oh, not even for some good gold or anything?
I don't think Celis needs the money.
Oh, he's rich.
I think his concerns are greater than just a bit of gold.
What does that mean?
It means he travels with Cliff Ironcloud as his personal mage. They have larger things to attend to.
Oh.
You're lucky if you find Celis at his own home.
Oh,
Right.
got it. Okay.
Yeah. Mending! And you see him kind of calling out as it continues.
So what, Erland? You had a rebellious phase in your youth. You got some markings that you want removed.
Sort of, yes.
What do you mean, sort of?
Yes.
Can I see it?
specifically. No, you cannot see
Why
it.
can't I see it?
No,
Oh,
it's-
come on! You're gonna get it covered up. I want to see it.
No, it's on my. I
Oh,
have to
you
take my pants
absolutely
off.
know that. Wait, what do you mean you gotta take your pants
It's on my
off?
thigh.
Oh God, I thought you were
So
gonna
I'm
say
not
something
gonna
more fun.
do that now. No.
Okay, well, fine. I want you to know, for the record, absolutely no fun.
Can we proceed, please?
Sure.
No fun.
And they continue on the road.
You're gonna take your pants off. You're no fun.
I can tell on the road, like not even in a...
What a loser!
Nerd.
Nerd.
Oh, come on.
Heading back out the way you came in.
Oh, boy.
You take a left at the fork and you push east. A heavily forested path made less ominous by the widening of the road and the abundance of tracks, hooves, footprints, wheel indentations that coincide with the other travelers that you can already see coming to and from. It goes against your well-traveled nature, but it's hard to imagine needing to be as constantly vigilant as you're accustomed to on the road out in the wilderness. You imagine that any kind of serious threat would be identified and hopefully dealt with, given the number of ordinary citizens that travel back and forth on a daily basis. The path you're on should take you straight into Fangle, the largest neighborhood of Wampiranina, and from what you understand, the most residential as well. The many homes and dwellings of those working in or around the fast-growing ports of Navika-Puras. So you guys are on your way to Wampiranina. So you guys have a moment as you're kind of riding along here.
I have to admit, I don't know exactly where to start, but perhaps a local tavern or something of that nature where
We can get some information.
people are willing to talk, yes.
I agree. I just hope they're willing.
Just thinking of all the different factions that we've pissed off along the way. Black Lion, Gentle Void,
There are a few, I'd have to say.
Genies.
We don't really make friends that easily.
No, and I stick out.
I do as well, in my own way.
Subtlety, I guess.
Try not to make too much of a scene. Where do you want to try to go to first?
The other group is like, this is what's happening. And they're like,
Hopefully somebody tells us.
Let's go smoke these ones.
Yeah, that's the only thing they have planned.
Let's go smoke this house.
I imagine there's a lot going on at the ports.
Yes,
And if we do see something like a tavern along the way to stop, but perhaps just head in the direction of the
coastline.
of the short ports.
Yes, that's where I would like to head as well. So, let's see what we can find out on the way.
And people of all kinds are traveling back and forth as you pass. Many of them carting goods, carrying items that may have been purchased or acquired on the coast, baskets of fish, crates that looks like they came in maybe through the short or long ports. Diverse sets of faces, different races, different colors, different kinds. And then Beezaura spots a man riding alone on horseback. His clothes are unremarkable, and the reddish coloration of his skin is not uncommon for tieflings, but a reflexive tightening of your chest is triggered by a wave of recognition. A scrawny build, with thin fingers that draw attention to his rough hands and chipped nails that are tightly gripping the reins. Clearly adapting to his surroundings, he's no longer dressed for an expensive wine tasting, but it's most certainly the same person that asked for information on Orba all the way back in Orange. You see him kind of riding along, and he doesn't clock you at first, as he's sort of moving along. But then as he looks up, he sees you, and he sees who you're riding with. And you guys start to...
Do I notice any tension in the air?
Perception check. Might be a tough one, but...
Give me the drugs. Give me the drugs.
Perception 18.
18.
Ooh.
So you see at one
Damn.
point they make eye contact, and it doesn't strike you as anything except you kind of see Beezaura do a little like look away to sort of hide her face a little bit. So that's the only thing that you kind of pick up on. The guy doesn't seem to really indicate at all. He doesn't sort of sit up or make any attempt to get her attention.
Can I speak into my breath to her at this point?
And there's noise as people are moving.
Do we have a problem?
Only if he stops.
Oh no.
Very well.
Just keep moving.
You get to the point where you're kind of parallel to each other, and he kind of looks as he goes. You get past each other, and you hear a little...
If we need to attack, say the word.
Okay, just act like nothing's wrong.
What is wrong?
We're still moving, right?
Yep, you're still moving.
Beezaura. I just made a big list. Is this an addition to that list?
Oh. While ago.
You can tell she's
Very
nervous.
A while ago, I was offered chess pieces for
Just don't get too quiet.
information on Orba. And that is the man who asked me.
Who does he speak for? You don't know.
It was his request. He gave me things to find out. And then she found out. And I told her I wouldn't say anything. I didn't know I'd see him like this again.
Should we nip this in the bud?
Just go after him.
Was that a question?
Yes.
Or a request? I didn't hear a question mark at the end of that. I heard just go after him.
I will say you are far from the only people on this road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are in public.
If we don't want to cause a scene and attract attention, I don't know if that's the best idea at the moment.
Can I subtly
Oh god.
give like a glance back to see if he's
Stealth
following
check.
us?
Yeah, I think I left my coat over there.
Yeah. Like a sneak, like achoo! Stealth. One! There he is!
Good.
No! Why? Come on.
As he kind of shifts his way to turn around on the horse, your hand just gets a little caught on the reins, so you pull on it, and the horse thinks you're trying to turn. So you try to turn, and immediately the horse kind of starts to turn. And you look back, and you guys have been riding as you've been talking.
No.
He looks like he stopped right after he passed you, but he has not followed you. He's stopped
Looking towards
at
us.
you. Yep. And he sees you start to turn the horse around a little bit.
I'll...
I'm just gonna keep moving.
Okay.
Foolish horse! Bring it back. He's just watching us. He hasn't moved.
Let's just keep moving, please.
Fine. We'll talk about this later, I suppose.
Sure.
Let's continue to ride. Making your way a little further towards.
We're never getting out of this fucking city.
No.
Yeah.
And as the other three continue to ride, it's starting to get a little closer to Nakuzi now. Some time passes. You let a little bit of the information sink in that you have, what Erland's told you about the book, what might be coming in the coming days, what Orba's plan might be for Celis. And sometime later, you see another person that catches your eye. This time, not because they're vying for the attention of the other travelers, as Butez was, clearly calling out, but because of the opposite. Two men, one halfling and one dwarf, are headed in the opposite direction and walking just far enough off of the main road that nobody could overhear a quiet conversation as you pass them by. One of them Safira recognizes, from Leopold's garrison. The halfling dressed well with a bowler-style cap and a groomed, stubbly beard. It's Pibraf Ladsrud Vodzafang, the man that warned them about the pawn chaser Darman Thori at the strip mine. So he's having this kind of quiet, sort of clandestine conversation with the dwarf next to him, a little bit off the road to make sure that nobody sort of overhears them as they talk. And they're just kind of moving along. They're on foot, they're not on horseback.
And I notice him?
You definitely recognize him, yes. He has not seen you yet.
I kind of like gesture. Oh, that's oh fuck, Piddly, what's his name? The guy that warned us about the person who's tracking Beezy. Remember the guy?
Oh, I didn't.
The only other person that was with you was Graven. Was the only other person that met him.
No, I remember his name. Oh, he has such a complicated name. I wasn't trying to even make fun of him for it, and I'm embarrassed now. Should we go talk to him? He looks like he's doing something.
What does he? What
I mean,
other than
no, I mean
providing
nothing. I don't know. I guess
information on?
we don't have to do it right now. I'm just saying. I know that guy.
Do you know? Did he introduce himself as to like who he is, what he is, other than providing information about pawn chess? Is he part of the chess club?
No, he didn't. Did he?
And I
said
think
that
he
he
said
works for
Pindle. He said
Thomas
he,
Pindle,
he said he
yes.
worked for Pindle and
Just
yeah, he said he worked for Pindle.
That wouldn't be a place to get a contract, would it? Would it?
From Thomas
not
Pindle?
for me.
No, I mean, if
I've got that contract and I don't like it.
Let's go talk
Bad
to him.
choice.
What's the
You
harm?
could get that one done real easy.
All right.
Give him a wave. See if he responds.
See if he recognizes you.
okay.
And the dwarf kind of gives him a look, and he sort of, I don't know that person. And they continue to walk. And you kind of follow them as they walk away from you a little bit. And you see him reach into a pocket and kind of crumple up his fist and then drop something on the ground. And they continue to walk.
This is how we communicate with people all the
Sick.
time.
Notes on the
Wrong with
ground.
us?
Sick.
We throw things on the ground. Ay.
Do you go get it?
Yes, I do. I'm gonna try to like not just be like, oh look, he dropped something.
Sure.
from
You
me.
wait a
Like,
moment
try-
for them
yeah,
to
like,
get a little distance and you go by. And
seeing that he doesn't want to be noticed by me. I'm gonna kind of. I had this pre-written in case I ran into someone I recognized. Don't approach me in public. Okay. I'm a bit embarrassed. I have a letter for Beezaura at the mail house when she can spare a moment. Oh, brilliant. Okay, so this is good that we ran into him because he's got something for Beezaura.
He just had this pre-written in his back pocket?
That's what he says. He says I had this. I mean, he had to have
In
done
case he
because I
ran
didn't
into
see him write
someone I recognize, but this letter specifically mentions Beezaura.
Yeah.
How many pre-written letters does he have in his back pocket?
That's a good point. And how does he
Knew
know
you
he's
guys were
picking
headed
out the
to
right
Navika-Puras.
one?
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah, he did know we were coming to Navika-Puras, so I suppose in abundance of caution, he's kept himself equipped with little
Why can't we go talk
messages.
to him?
Well, he says don't approach me.
Well, yes, no, but why?
Well, it looked like he was doing something secret, didn't it?
Excuse me, why can't
I mean, those were...
Excuse me, sir, you dropped this? No.
Hey, I know him! No, I mean, I don't think we should sort of interrupt his...
No.
Oh, no, I
business. I'm assuming...
that's just odd.
I don't know, maybe he's on secret business for Mr. Pindle. I don't know what that would be, but I suppose that could be a thing.
Let the halfling know when we return.
Can you use the names?
Let Beezaura know.
Yes, I will let Beezaura know. And what's hers?
Orba.
There we go. Okay, I will let her know. Alright, shall we go to this South guy? Let's hope he's at home.
Yeah, that was a little concerning, actually.
I know, do we know what he looks like if he's not at home?
No.
I'm sure other people do.
He seems to be a sort of local celebrity of some sort.
People will know him.
I would imagine he would draw some eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know anything.
I guess we try his house first, and if we don't find anything, we can have an ask around town.
Yeah. I guess.
I don't know if we want to be known to be looking for sellers, but maybe we might not have any other option.
Well, to draw him out would be helpful, so...
Is Pindle from Navika-Puras?
Hold
I don't know if anything you know the answer.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we know about Thomas Pindle.
We know he's broken crown, yeah.
I think all we know is that he is the one BZ is doing the chess pieces for.
Well, yes, of course, but I suppose we never found out where he was.
I don't know
Sort
any
of
local
based.
names.
I suppose it doesn't particularly matter at this moment.
No.
No.
I guess you could ask her when you see her.
Sure.
And after a bit of rising elevation, there's a crest and then a dip. And suddenly Nakuzi has come up on you very quickly. The falling terrain lets you look out past the farmland toward another cluster of homes barely larger than the one you left, and marked once again by a larger stone structure in the center, though this time the pink sandstone is familiar to you as a place for New Kelpian worship, similar to the one that you saw in Mukbu. The path leads you down along a row of houses and brings you further west. Making it easy to continue to Naupa if you've no business to attend to here. Though there's something alluring about the calm and quiet, like you could get lost in conversation with a neighbor on a day when you had time to spare. And as you kind of move into town, so you come in and you kind of move along this row of houses here, so you guys are moving in. And you can choose to continue on, or if there's anything to attend to in Nakuzi.
I just had a thought.
Yeah.
If you guys wanted to go see Leto, that's okay.
No, again, I know it might be an abundance of caution, but I will personally feel better if I'm stood right outside. I don't have to listen in. I can plug my ears and say, well, actually, I'm not going to do that because I do want to hear it if you scream. But I will not listen.
I was going to say I wanted to go into the church.
Oh.
And pray for a moment. So if you wanted to take a
okay.
moment for yourselves.
Okay.
But you don't have to.
Church is safe, right? Is a church safe?
Okay. You can also, I'm happy to just go talk to Leto myself if you'd like to accompany her.
That's
Yes,
so...
Safira, why don't you go with the other person?
No.
All right, then.
be by
The
yourself
church
for
is
5
nearby.
seconds.
Leto's house is. He described where it is, so we can, in theory, find it. So we'll meet you at the church then, yes?
Okay.
Splitting up again.
You guys are barely splitting up. First of all,
Yeah.
you know that his house is behind the church,
Yeah,
so...
just- They're right next door to each other.
Okay, alright.
If someone screamed at the church, you'd probably hear it from Leto's
Yeah.
house.
Good, then we're good.
Safira wants to be within
We're within
screaming range of
screaming
Orba at all
As the
times.
crow screams.
How far?
What is it?
Are you calling me?
So you guys do see as you head into town, this large stone building
Yeah.
is the church that you sort of, as you're coming in along this road here, it's very clear. It's much bigger than the surrounding buildings.
So, you want to talk to Leto?
Yes, I don't know if he's going to be able to offer us much, but he can perhaps give us the lay of the land, perhaps let us know even where to find Celis.
Yeah, I suppose.
Alright.
So you kind of you go off the main road a little bit, and you hit sort of the corner of the church here, and just based on the sort of general shape of the structure, Orba can tell that the entrance is over here on this side. Okay. Which means that the back of the church is on this side. You sort of look down, there's one sort of larger house that's kind of a couple stories tall, and then a smaller house right by the river. And if you remember Leto's description, he said he was behind the church by the river. So Orba starts to head toward the front of the church. And as you head toward the church, you immediately get the impression, which you've seen before, that the idea of the New Kelkian churches is to, almost like a home anywhere you go, they try to make them all look almost exactly the same. They're built out of the same materials. They have kind of the same general structure. You start to walk up a staircase, and immediately as you get to the top of the staircase, the double doors are open. You can see that sort of round room that sort of swings around, and all the pictures of the gods are sort of portrayed in their spots around the border. So kind of go in.
Okay. She's gonna go in. And she's going to pick up a beseechery. I'm assuming that there is
You
one.
see, as you start to enter, you see one of those people called kindred that are sort of the church attendants. But as you immediately go to pick up one of the beseecheries, they don't approach you. They sort of recognizing that you seem to know the process or aware of it. He takes a couple steps towards you, but then kind of smiles and bows and moves along. So you take the beseechery.
Great. And she'll start going through the process of each god.
Go left
and
to
give
right.
them a bow.
Aya, the god of death. Rima, the god of promises. Kuya, the god of love and lust. Sorry, you were going to stop.
No, I was going to stop at Rima.
Okay. Stops at Rima, the god of promises.
Okay, and I'm going to put my beseechery into the little bowl.
Sure.
I'm going to give it a light if there's a flint nearby.
You light the beseechery.
Okay. I'm just going to sit and think for a sec. I made a promise. Feels like forever since I've made that promise, but I'm close to fulfilling it, and I would really appreciate any attention and help that I could be given today.
Give me a religion check.
Come on. 13.
Sort of sit there, letting the kind of fumes from the little beseechery just kind of fill your nose a little bit, sort of trickling up into the air, ashes a bit. And you watch it burn. You say your words. There's a couple other people here, no one immediately next to you, but other people at other of the sort of stations around the room. You say your words and you sort of wait for some kind of feeling or confirmation. You take a deep breath in. And you open your eyes. And it's a little clearer, a little wider, a little more like you're sort of focused, almost like you were riding and there was sort of this conglomeration of ideas. You weren't sure what to say, what to do, where to go, how to find Celis, what to do if you found him. And your thoughts are just kind of focused, your mind quieted a little bit as you sort of zero in on the importance of the task, how long it's taken to get here, and just exactly what you need to do. You have +1 to all persuasion checks until a short rest, or until a long rest is taken. As you feel the focusing powers of Rima, the god of promises.
Now you love taking stuff from gods. You love help from gods now.
My gods.
Yeah.
After she opens her eyes and has that experience, she'll just close her eyes again and quietly, thank you. She'll sit there.
With a little renewed focus in mind, makes her way around the remaining portion of the circle.
Yeah.
And we will go over to Leto's house. You take a sort of a right there at the edge of the church, and you walk along the little small row of houses there, past the larger house, and you get to a kind of tall roof that has these kind of interlocking shingles that make this very pointed roof. It's small, but it's very charming and has a very kind of rustic appeal to it. It looks like it's been here for a long time. It's clearly a very lived-in place. It doesn't seem sort of out of place or foreign, like someone who really sort of has been a part of this community for a long time. And you see the door, you look, you can hear the trickling sounds of the river, you look up and see the back of the church, you seem to believe you're in the right place, right at the foot of the door there.
Anything you need to ask him specifically?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see if I have the, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, just knock on the door. Do you have anything to ask him specifically?
Just exhales and then knocks.
And you wait a moment, and it's pretty quiet here. You can, the river's sort of moving along, but you don't hear a lot of people in this sort of little nook of the town. And you hear kind of excuse me 1 second, and some footsteps.
Oh, shit.
And the door opens. And you see the face of Leto with sort of longer blonde hair kind of pushed back into a bun. And he sees you standing at the door, and he kind of gives you a big hug.
Erland kind of gives him a
When's
hug
the last
back.
time we were hugged?
Never.
It's good to see you. You as well. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You made it.
We made it. Here we are.
I would love to have you in. And he sort of takes a step out onto the porch and kind of doesn't fully close, but sort of keeps the door sort of almost all the way closed behind him. Roy's parents are here. Mr. and Mrs. Danvers. We're seeing Roy buried at the burial grounds, the Navika burial grounds.
Today? Oh.
Yes, I would love to catch up, to talk. Just now is not the best time.
Of course.
Can I meet you somewhere for a drink tonight?
Perhaps tomorrow night.
All right, sure. You seem to want to sort of know the lay of the land. I'm happy to introduce you to anyone who...
That would be lovely, but I don't want to keep you. No.
Yes, no, it's all right. I just wanted to... We'll see to it. We have plenty of time. Tonight's not a good night, so tomorrow.
Sure. Yes. I think that would be good. We're sort of getting a lay of the land a little bit.
Sure. Yes. Welcome to Navika-Puras.
Yes.
So far, very hospitable. I suppose the only question I have for you, just quickly, is
Yes.
We've heard a little bit of the about the advocates all of a sudden being working with the mall affairs. We've heard a little bit of that from some of the construction workers.
Yes, they've been at work on the Cedar Way. Yes.
We had a drink with some construction workers last night.
Sure. I'm afraid to say that that's not an area of expertise of mine, only because I've mostly been tracking down Roy these past couple of weeks.
Oh, so that's happened only very, very recently.
Well, they've been working on the Cedar Way for a bit, but I just haven't had a lot of time to talk to people about it.
No, of course. And I'm going to kind of subtly give, Erland a squeeze, being like, for fuck's sake. We'll let you be with your family here, but we can see you tomorrow.
Yes, one of the bars, perhaps. There's a few. The Upa Ale House, Holo de Safira, although that's very expensive, sort of out of my price range.
Right.
And then All Hands on Deck, which is the one on the coast.
Right. Well, why don't we send you a message? Can we send you one here, and we'll let you know where we are, because we might be a bit more towards the coast, or we might be closer to here.
Sure, yes.
Well, why don't we... Tomorrow we'll certainly be at, what inn are we staying at again? The,
In Nigarwas.
Yeah, the inn in Nigarwas. Was there a... I can't remember. Was there there was a place to drink. Yeah,
So
there was a
Holo de
place
Safira is the place in Nigarwas, but that's the very expensive place.
No, but where we were drinking
Yes. I mean,
Oh,
it was
but
like
it's
a room this big.
Oh, I
yes,
see,
but
I see,
it's not
I
like a proper tavern, but you can have a drink there.
I see.
You know this great little place.
Nobody knows about
Nobody
it.
knows about
It's
it.
sort of a
'Cause it sucks.
speakeasy.
A speakeasy.
Let's I think the coast would be. Let's plan to meet at the coast tomorrow, and we'll let you know otherwise. What was the name of the
All
pub?
Hands on Deck.
All hands on deck. Okay.
It only takes a couple. It would take what? How long would it take to walk to the coast from
Naupa? It
Yeah.
takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours between each township. So that's
Okay, yeah, no. So
6
it's
hours.
getting there by tomorrow night. It's not stupid.
No, that's. I mean,
Okay.
assuming you have the time to travel, yeah.
Great. Sorry, what was it called? The pub?
All Hands on Deck. And he describes the location of it for
Oh
you.
my god, if this is another we have to blow him off like we did Steve, I will riot.
Whose fault is it gonna be this
God,
time?
our dance card's getting full here, guys.
He's there
They
with,
have so
Roy's,
many plans.
He's there with Roy's ashes, just like.
Oh
Don't
All hands on deck is this sort of corner building right before you get to the ports. This one
That
right.
weefy guy?
Yep, the weefy guy.
I don't know
Right.
this yet, but I'm just gonna.
Yep, that's all hands on deck.
We're not going to tell you about our little spot.
And it's like a drinky tavern or
That's
like
like a
meal
tavern.
house?
Yeah.
Are you asking him? Sorry.
I'm not there. I was
Oh
just
yes.
curious.
Then you just.
Uh,
I mean, he
You
said
have
you
no
could grab
right
a drink.
to-
there,
Orba runs
presumably.
them out of the church.
I gotta know.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you there tomorrow night then.
That would be great. Thank you.
My condolences again to you and Roy's family.
Thank you. They were very happy to see him, even though it just put their mind at ease.
Sure.
Of course.
Well, I'll hopefully see you then, and good luck with whatever you're up to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more thing before you go. I don't know if this is important, but when I had Roy's body brought to the Navika burial grounds, just across the river, I was there as the caretaker was preparing him, washing him down, putting a clean set of clothes on him. And I noticed a tattoo that I'd never seen before. Very small. It was between the two largest toes on his left foot, and I never would have noticed it if the caretaker hadn't been washing his feet. It was a sort of a tornado or spiral symbol. And I asked Avavarius, who's the caretaker at the Navika burial grounds, if he knew what it meant, and he didn't seem to recognize it. Although he mentioned that he had seen it before on another body. A man that used to work at the short ports named Peter Vimont. I haven't had any time to look into it or speak to this Peter Vimont. I'm not entirely sure that I want to, but when we first spoke, you seemed to have an interest in who else might have been involved in this McLeod ordeal. So I thought I'd let you know. I made a sketch of it, if you'd like.
Sure.
And he sort of disappears back from the door, and he comes back out. It just sort of looks like this, just a tornado or a spiral or something.
Brilliant. Yeah, that might be very useful.
So, may I ask you one question? Forgive me if this is insensitive. Prior to his use of McLeod, do you know if your husband was a part of the sort of distribution or of myconid extract?
I couldn't say that for sure. I would have said no, but like I said, I didn't know about the McLeod until it was too late, so
Sure.
I would hesitate to call myself a reliable source on that account.
All right. Sure.
Well, again, we're sorry for your loss.
Fortunately, don't know what that means either.
We'll let you know if we find anything out, though.
Thank you. I'll hopefully see you tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely.
Be
And
well.
he sort of looks at you for a moment, and he kind of looks around. Did the others make it?
Oh yeah, they're fine. Don't worry. They're just they're by the ports. They're at the coast. Well, hopefully, maybe you'll see all of us there.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you. Have a lovely day.
You as well.
You too.
Close.
There's that tattoo. What I've heard of, I know that like all monasteries are different, but that tattoo doesn't seem to ring any bells.
No, not in particular.
Cool.
Not in that way.
Just I now because you have a mystery tattoo. You know I have to ask.
No, I've never. Can I look at it there? I've never seen anything like this. I wonder if it's some sort of local gang or.
Well, it's almost certainly some kind of. I mean, I've heard of this kind of stuff being used for traffickers, foot soldiers of some kind for like, you know, if you're trafficking in something illegal. I know that some criminals use symbols like this. So I mean, it's possible what you asked him that he could have been part, you know, of some kind of trafficking industry. But I suppose I'm going to want to talk to this Peter guy.
Yes. Also, I mean, Mr. McKenna is at the short ports again. Remember?
I mean, there are a few people that I want to talk to there.
Right, but the McKenna was specifically involved with this myconid hybrid beast.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if he was somehow responsible for this tornado.
Anyway, it's more information which can't hurt. So I'm glad he, you know, told us that. I'm glad we went. I suppose I hope we see him tomorrow. Should we catch up with Orba?
Proceeds her towards the church.
Was there anything else you were doing while you were?
Orba's just gonna be standing at the steps. She'll have the ring like between her palms, not showing it, but just kind of like squeezing it and holding it. Yeah, exactly. Just kind of holding it.
So you see Orba there at the staircase as you move around.
Hi.
Hi.
Good church?
Yes, I had a good church, Safira.
The best church
sorry.
I church with the best of them.
How was Leto?
Sad day. He's burying Roy today, but it gave us a piece of information that might be useful. Roy apparently had this tattoo between his toes, and he had known one other person to have it, Peter Vycroft, who's at the Short Ports.
Peter Vimont.
Sorry, Vimont.
Peter Vimont?
And you know what else just occurred to me? You know who we should
The
ask
tattoo
about
person
this?
that we just met?
What if he's responsible? Or at least maybe he knows the artist.
Perhaps, yeah. Although, if it's for
I
nefarious
don't think we
purpose-
should ask too many people about it.
No.
But if there's anyone we should ask, probably this Peter guy in kind of a subtle way.
Like,
And,
hey, do you ever do, like, tattoos between your toes?
I mean, probably not like that, but, you know, something. And
We got some time. We'll think about it.
Just riffing.
No bad ideas right now. No bad ideas.
Nice smelly
Popcorn.
feet tattoo.
There might perhaps be a way of asking the tattoo artist himself in a way that isn't suspicious, perhaps.
Knowing us, it's going to turn that way very quickly, but I think we can try.
what we're going to find out very quickly, either with the first or the second person that we ask this question, is whether or not this is something obscure, or whether it's something that actually strikes fear into people.
If
you know,
people
in some
are
way.
hiding tattoos on their body, it's usually for nefarious purposes.
Oh,
It's
is
not
it? Oh, is it? Then take your pants off! Then take your pants off!
Why did you have
Take your pants
Got
off! Now I'm just standing in the street shouting, take your pants off!
She had forgotten about it. Why did you say it again? Just don't
You dig these holes for yourself,
No,
mate!
I'm talking about like nefarious tattoos that multiple people get together as sort of a.
Did you get yours with friends?
No, I didn't get
So it's
mine
not-
with friends.
You weren't. I'm gonna find out about this tattoo.
Lovely. I look forward to it.
I'm sure it's just the name of a girl or
I'm
something.
gonna have Graven strip his trousers in the middle
Please,
of the night.
can we
I
please,
don't want that.
please continue on the road to Celis?
Yes, please.
Alright.
Get on their horses.
You had to bring it up again, dude.
Beezaura, take your pants off.
Okay.
So Graven and Beezaura continue on. Every once in a while, you kind of give a little look back just to see if anyone's following you. As far as you can tell, as soon as he sort of disappeared from your sight, he has not caught up to you at this point. So you guys continue on
So,
Yes.
that nervous-looking tiefling asked about Orba,
Yes.
and you decided not to give the information. Was there a threat involved? Was there a prize involved?
Chess pieces.
Oof.
And many of them.
You did very good.
It was a tough decision at first, but over time I knew what I had to do and not to do.
Do you not know who he works for, or whether he works for himself?
If I remember, it was a long time ago.
you mentioned some association with the Gentle Boy.
Yeah. He is associated with the gentleman. Obviously, but
Great.
right, I just hope.
The same gentle void that was after you originally.
Yes. I'm
There's a lot of
sure,
them.
yeah. I'm sure it's connected somehow.
And there's a lot of gentle void in Navika-Puras.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Even more subtle than I explained before we should be.
Please, no more horse mishaps as well.
I just got a little caught. You're the one who... Never mind. We were getting along so well.
As you guys move on a little bit further,
I'll keep an eye out for him.
Okay.
you catch sight of a man because of the sort of the way he's lurking in the trees.
Oh
my god. And he's watching people kind of go by, but as he sees you two, he kind of immediately straightens up. Shows a keen interest in you, and he kind of walks out toward the road a little bit to make sure that he's close by as you guys are passing.
Interesting.
It's a human man in his 30s. Kind of has wiry, gray-streaked hair, drab leather armor draped over a very lean frame. And as you get closer, kind of gets even a little further to make sure that you're right there, passing by right in front of him. Life's hard, comes at you fast, too fast. A lot of people looking for a way to slow things down.
What are you selling?
I got something that'll slow you down, slow you right down, slow you down to a crawl.
I don't think we're interested.
No, thank you. Let's go.
All right. I was never here. He kind of backs up. Let's continue.
What did he mean by that?
It's that potent narcotic form of the... I know about this from Roy, right? And Leto. It's what Leto's husband got caught up in. There's drug dens, microl dens.
And as you guys are kind of talking a little bit, you hear some sort of footsteps. And you look behind you, and it seems like he's kind of like following behind you, like on the side of the road, like walking. And as you kind of look back at him, he kind of, good way to make friends, and won't run enough.
Yes, and what are these great connections you have?
Well, maybe you want to slow things down a bit. I know who does that.
Who does that?
It's a man named Hatchet.
A lot of nicknames in this town.
Just in case I didn't already know that you were foreigners. That little sentence just did you in.
Where is this Hatchet?
Hangs around at all hands on deck. It's a bar.
Good.
Are you one of his toadies?
No. I'm a working man. Work for myself.
Entrepreneur.
That's right.
And how
Now look, go on, talk to Hatchet, see if he has something that interests you.
How well is your business along the road here?
Has its moments. The good news is, each sale tends to multiply itself over time.
A filthy business.
If you say so. Some people like the escape, that's all. And like I said, great way to make friends. And he backs off.
I don't need friends that badly.
I need friends, but not that bad.
Bit of a slimy individual.
I would say so. Let's just keep moving.
Well, we know what bar we're starting at, I suppose.
I suppose.
You guys ride on. And it isn't long before you finally set your eyes on Antisuyu's coastline. A refreshing, expansive sight after weeks of navigating some of the least forgiving inland areas. The Shocky Mountains, the Ackley Groves, congested, feeling like you're sort of surrounded. But it opens up. The rooftops are varied, colorful. As you get into town, you have this sense of construction being done everywhere. It seems that Wamparani Na is exploding in its population. The shipyards get bigger, moving higher volumes, no longer limited to just the other ports on the continent, but across continents as well, and across the ocean. The ocean breeze is so strong that even in Fangal, which is the sort of furthest western portion that you're entering into, as we bring up Wamparani Na, you guys are coming in along the road. So even as this is Fangal, and even as you guys are entering in through that area, you can feel the winds kind of whipping through the alleys between houses. You see kind of rocks skittering and grass being pushed around. There's a salty quality to the air that fills your nose, and it makes you long for a nice day where you could just relax on the beach. But your duties here await, and having spoken to Leto earlier at Leopold's garrison and others about the growing presence of myconid distribution, as well as the man you just met, you know that not all as bright as chipper as the sparkling blue waters would have you believe. So you guys have arrived here in Wamparani. It's busy. People are moving throughout the streets. There's commotion. I mean, this is even a residential area, and even here you see people constantly moving in and out of buildings, hawking wares, moving all about. So you guys have arrived in Wamparani.
It's probably 6.
No, not even that late. You guys left at like 1:30.
Oh.
It's like
Oh.
3:30,
You
like
got
3
a
o'clock.
camera?
We'll say like 3 o'clock.
Damn.
Yeah. So no, it's
Okay.
not
Yeah.
like later in the day.
Is there any signs on any of these, like, you said it was pretty residential. As you,
This
you
Fangle
first
area
get in.
is kind of a more residential area, yes. You don't immediately see any signs for businesses.
For a bit, yeah, like
That's what you're
stores or
looking for.
businesses or anything. Alright, just kind of slowly continue along there.
Cool. So you guys continue.
Yeah, we can probably see this as we approach here.
I lost my. Oh, there it is. Yes. So as you guys kind of move in along this road, up on your left, you see a building that kind of has a barracks building look to it, and in fact, it looks kind of in its structure and in the rows of these sort of one structure, then another, and then another. It kind of looks like back in Mukmu when you were near the Broken Crown offices. It had a different name. The Broken Crown Station is what it was called. And as you get closer, you sort of expect to see maybe some guards, uniformed people in this sort of, barracks-esque or castle-esque small-looking building. But you don't. It's very empty, and you see a sign on one of the buildings that says that the Broken Crown offices have been relocated to the south side of the river.
Okay.
So it looks like it was formerly offices of the Broken Crown, and they've been relocated. That's what you guys see, and you kind of get to this little bend here. You're sort of fully into Wamparani Na, the Fangle area. You guys are here.
Do we see this?
You
building
can't
that's
see that
on-
from here at the
can't see
moment.
that
Yeah,
quite
there's a
yet.
lot of buildings between.
And the road doesn't kind of naturally keep going.
So
it looks like
the main road kind of. Sorry, I'll bring that back up. The main road kind of stops. It's a thicker, wider sort of not paved, but there's this sort of gravelly to keep it, through the weather to make sure that doesn't get ruined. There's little like footpaths between all of these places here, like dirt, cobblestone sometimes between a lot of them. But so it's not like you can't navigate them.
And there's plenty of people around, you said
Yeah,
still?
there's tons of people around. It's very busy here.
Should we ask where that bar is?
I'll flag somebody down.
Sure, you see a guy kind of pushing his cart along. He's like,
Excuse me.
hello, good day.
Hi.
We're new to the area. May I ask you a question or two?
I guess. What kind of question?
Is there an inn, perhaps something near the coast, near the alt hands on deck?
That probably is the place you'd look for a room.
Oh, right. Good. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. That's not uncommon for a tavern to also have rooms.
Right. Oh.
Two for the person.
Great.
I didn't ask him where it was.
I didn't want to I was like,
Sorry.
can you just,
Pulls his backs up his cart.
sorry, the direction of All Hands on Deck?
Sure, it's right at the corner of the bend. He kind of points, and he points to the building there. So,
Great.
right before you get to the ports, it's right in the corner. You can't miss it. It'll probably be full with people too, so you'll see that as well. Busy
Already?
spot.
Nice.
Already.
Oh yeah.
Does it,
Will we be seeing you there later? Is that the implication?
As soon as I drop this off.
Wow. All
is
right.
that the biggest gathering spot in town?
Sure, it's where all the longshoremen go. It's the only sort of real tavern in town, so if you don't want to be alone,
What's the fake tavern?
just, your own kitchen or whatnot.
Oh.
Got it.
Your own kitchen.
Well,
Anyway, it's a bar if you try hard enough, I suppose. He kind of nudges you with his shoulder.
I suppose you're right. Oh, thank you.
Love him.
Welcome to Wamparani Na! And he kind of
Thanks.
pushes his cart along.
I guess
Oh my
that's
God,
where we should go.
At least head in that direction, yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Start to move along. And as you're navigating streets of Wamparani-Na, kind of weaving between the houses, heading generally, you're sort of trying to get sight of the river so you can follow it along based on his directions, kind of moving, once again, kind of like through this long alley here that looks like it, because in the distance you can see like a bridge, sort of a stone bridge in the distance, so you can mark that as the spot of the river. You start to head in that direction. And as you walk the streets, you hear a bit of commotion coming from an alley between two houses. An alley that, upon closer inspection, leads to a small courtyard in the back, where a dozen or so individuals have made a circle around two wrist-wrapped men in the center. A half-orc and an elf sparring. Although the contest seems terribly one-sided, the half-orc man kind of rains down a relentless volley of blows that the elf barely has time to recover from. He sort of has his guard up until finally one of the punches breaks through the guard and the elf goes sprawling backward, where he's kind of caught by a few of the onlookers in the circle around him, and they lower him gently to the ground. And you see the half-orc kind of raise his hands, he sort of pumps up a little bit, looks to the crowd.
That's right. If anybody whispers in this town, I hear about it. I got ears everywhere. There is nobody I can't find. So don't even think about trying to disrespect me. Don't tell your friends you think you can take me, because I will track you down and I will fuck you up.
Are we like close enough that we're with the
It's not
crowd?
that far. I mean, yeah, you sort of took a couple steps to the back of the crowd there, yeah. And he looks like he goes over to maybe a friend of his who gives him kind of a rag, and he's kind of like wiping down his neck.
Can I
against the back of his head.
lean over to someone like standing by?
Sure, yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Wilson Cleaver. Sort of a bit of a showboat and a menace, but don't tell him I told you that.
Just wondering who it was.
Yeah, he comes from a rich family, but he doesn't like that gives him a reputation of being sort of, I don't know, above it all. So
Is he from
he picks
here?
fights. Yeah, he's from here. His parents live here. He lives with his parents.
Cool dude.
The Cleavers are very rich spice merchants.
So are we kind of leading? You said footpaths. So at this point, we're probably leading the horses.
Yeah, so
in
you
between.
kind of had the horses, and you kind of
Yeah.
peeked into the alleyway there, and the horses can be left to the side a little bit, out of the way. Yeah. So you guys kind of, I mean, maybe it's not this exact spot. You kind of traveled down this little alley, and maybe it's like right here in this little like spot between a few homes. So you're off of like the main footpaths in this whole area.
Time for a bit of fun before we get down to business.
You want to get in there?
Seems like he is either full of shit or maybe put up a good fight. We could get a little clout, maybe a little gold.
Oh my god.
I thought you wanted to not cause a scene.
We don't have to give our names or anything. We're just seeing some good sport and partaking.
Sure, if you want to.
And as you guys are kind of chatting,
yeah.
the two friends are like holding up the elf that got pummeled. Kind of, they're helping him like out of the alley here, and the guy's kind of draped over his friends, like.
Nice.
I don't even know how he heard about what I said. The guy knows everybody. I don't know how.
And he sort of looks to one of his friends. He looks to one of his friends, and he's like, "Don't look at me. I didn't say nothing." And they kind of like pull him out of the alley.
Maybe you be the ringer, as in I try it first, and he might not think much of you, but you'll maybe learn something from my mistakes. And
Sure.
all right.
Is there a bet we have to make?
I don't know, maybe I'll ask him, or say if I beat him, that he answers 2-3 questions without any guff, I don't know, or gold
Sure.
or anything.
Let's say 5, just to give us some leeway.
5 questions?
Yeah.
That's a lot of questions.
Let's say 15 questions. Let him negotiate us down.
We play 20 questions.
All right. Or a conversation.
Yes.
How about
That
We have to get
leaves
into
it open.
specifics. The people are still kind of gathered
Yeah, if you were
around
kind of talking
there.
about the fight, yeah, you
Okay.
can see that, yeah. And the guy is with his friend. He sort of toweled himself off a little bit. It looks like he's starting to unwrap one of his kind of wrist straps there as he's sort of standing with his friend.
I'll just kind of, with purpose, kind of, draw myself up to my full
Sure.
height and just kind of walk towards the circle and got some moves there.
Thanks. You must not be from around here, because I would have heard about something about a new Goliath in town.
Who's the old Goliath?
There's a couple, but not that many that live actually in Navika-Puras. Most of them live in the mountains or up north.
Sort of takes off one of those things.
You beat them.
Yeah, I'll
Aw.
be. Well, no. Avavarius wouldn't agree to fight me, but
Say that again.
Avavarius, the caretaker of the burial grounds, he's a Goliath, but he wouldn't agree to fight me, so fought the other one, Mr. Mohakra.
And that went well.
It did.
There's the only two.
The only two Goliaths that live in Navika-Puras, as far as I know. Like I said, most of them live a little further out of town.
So your record with Goliaths is pretty good, you would say.
My record with everyone's pretty good, I'd say.
Anyone ever beat you?
Do you know what my record with everyone's pretty good is? Yeah, I've never been beaten.
Just asking.
Alright.
How about a little match for a few minutes of your time and your vast knowledge?
Get the fuck out of here. I fight for reputation. You don't live here, so I don't care about my reputation with you. Piss off.
Sounds like you don't want to lose. That's what it sounds like to me.
You know every idiot passing through one Piranha challenges me to a fight when they see me fighting. I don't have time for that shit. And you're gonna be gone tomorrow. So what would I care about a fight with you? I like to fight people that tomorrow they have to look me in the eye and know that they lost.
Do you want to put gold on it?
I'm fucking rich. I don't need gold. You got something else for me? If not, I'm out of here.
You haven't met a Goliath like me.
You know Avavarius? You know Mohakra?
Don't need to.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah! One +1.
Yeah, right. Oh my god.
Disaster.
Persuasion. 19.
Yes!
Come on.
What makes you so special?
I'll just start putting things down.
Do you want to find out?
I would say that 2 records of the same going against each other sounds pretty special to me.
And a couple of the people that were around the circle may be starting to leave, kind of make their way back a little bit, sort of closing in a little bit.
Seems like all your friends might be a little more interested now. You wouldn't want to have them see you lose, would you?
Take your weapons off, pretty boy.
Oh! And he goes to grab his wraps and he starts to rewrap his hands there.
Graven's like, oh my god, me.
Don't let it go to your head, Graven.
Pretty well.
He starts to wrap up his hands.
Alright.
We are going to go on a break, and when we come back, we will be engaging in our homebrew pugilism match.
I'm so mad that you didn't tell him you knew the champion of the prison. Why didn't you tell him?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Should I get
When we come back,
Stella?
we'll engage in a little. We have the sort of structured homebrew fist fighting combat called
I'll put it in
pugilism.
the chat one more time.
Yeah.
So when we come back, we'll have Graven match his strength against Mr. Cleaver and see how that turns out.
You better deliver.
I know.
All that talk.
Squeezing the bottle.
It's a big talk.
I'm really good at this. I know I am.
Thank you guys so much for joining us as
Yeah.
always. Meet us on the other side. We'll dive right back in with a little bit of sparring. Yes.
No, keep going really quickly while I return.
With the little. That was the end of my
That was
sentence.
totally. Oh yeah, the Nat 30s. Oh, that's a really cute name. The Nat 30s rated us for 22 viewers
Awesome.
in the middle
Welcome
of our
to the stream.
thing.
Enjoy.
Thank
We've
you.
just arrived at a new sort of port town that has a couple of neighborhoods, and we're about to get into a tussle with the locals because that's what you do when you come to town.
Every town we pass.
I'm like,
through.
I thought we were not.
I can't wait. It's going to be
Let's
great.
play it real cool. Also, I want everyone here to know my name. Sing my name out.
I didn't say
no,
my
I didn't
name.
say his name. All right, thank you guys so much. We'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah.
Pew.
Chapter 71, Worldly Possessions, a ghost interrupts our friend's mission and is greeted by a flurry of blows and radiances.
You had a successful attack
Right.
that just did 0 damage.
I see. I'm gonna yell and say, Silva doesn't work on it!
So you don't roll for damage.
I don't roll for
You're gonna
damage.
do max
I'm gonna
damage.
do max, which is 5d6 radiant damage.
Watch as Graven winds up.
When the magic users make quick work of the ghost, it speaks its final words.
My oath fulfilled. My service ended.
What?
But it's not over. Quickly after dispensing of one ghost, 2 more appear in the tunnel, one of which possesses Safira.
Safira sort of blankly staring at Graven. She kind of...
No! No!
It's alright, she's right next to me. She's gonna suck.
She's gonna aim it.
And she's gonna fire her bow at you. I need you to...
It's 14 to hit.
Oh, you missed.
Oh,
I don't have to like put you
God.
down, do
Oh,
I?
no, my
Like a
God.
dog. So nothing
from
happens.
Safira.
Oh my god.
Nothing happened.
All I did was did 18
I'm fine.
damage to her.
Graven's like, nobody tell her.
Erland and Beezaura manage to turn on the rest of the pumps.
I'll wave and say, they're all on, the ghosts are gone?
We need to hold Safira down.
So she's now restrained as well.
And look at Graven like, now what?
I would say we get out of here.
Yeah, why not?
This
I'm
scene is to
great
see if the
evidence.
ghost either tries to leave her or we could use her
As proof.
Yes. Sorry.
As possessed Safira is dragged out of the tunnel, the ghost leaves her body and is destroyed by Graven.
Give more than you take. Take from those who refuse to give. Oh no.
The creed of late Melvin Hoggs rings in our friend's ears, and when Orba finds traces of the alarm spell near the pumps, the likelihood that someone summoned the ghosts there increases. Safira makes a suggestion regarding Llewellyn Hoggs, Melvin Hoggs' surviving daughter.
Weird pitch. What if, before we went to turn in this contract, we went to talk to her? It felt like they were actually trying to protect something, right? So maybe there's a reason that they don't want this deed away to pass, and if maybe there is some sort of nefarious something going on that is trying to prevent, I want to give good the chance to prevail, basically.
But Llewellyn Hoggs is not an open book.
When we were attacked by spirits underneath the memorial, they invoked your... I don't know if it's your father's
Motto?
or...
What motto?
Give more than you take, and take from those who refuse to give.
Not necromancer, not spiritual, nothing.
Now, if that was you, I'm willing to not take this information necessarily to get our, winnings from this contract. If basically you want to stop this thing for a reason.
Make a persuasion check.
5.
I don't know anything about that, so go ahead, turn in your contract.
Our friends ultimately take her advice and report to Foreman Bowley.
Is there a way for us to meet with the advocates so that we can advertise our services to them?
I can mention your names and likeness if you'd like. I can't take you to them, that's not really allowed.
Why?
Because you're not Northerners.
Finally, our friends head their separate ways. Graven and Beezaura head west, while Erland, Safira, and Orba head east.
Tiefling, if it's alright with you, I'd actually like to travel with you to Celis.
Okay.
Can I run a quick errand before, just to stock up? Given the 10 minutes! 10 minutes!
But in those 10 minutes, Marvin Bishop's stone lights up in Erland's bag. Erland takes out his copy of Grimari's Giant Grimoire, turns to page 216, and takes in the secret message.
On the approach to Navika-Puras.
Oh my god.
Should arrive by tomorrow if the weather holds. In which township shall we meet?
I'm gonna squeeze for Nuba.
Tomorrow we'll arrange a major landmark or establishment to meet at. I remember what you look like, but find something to wear that stands out in a crowd so I can identify you from a distance.
And I'm sure this comes as no surprise, Erland keeps it a secret.
Ready?
Yep.
To Celis.
Okay.
Three of them get on their horses, and they start to head west. And as the party diverges...
Who's ready for an ambush in Naupa? Will Beezaura and Graven have equal luck in Wampiranina? Can splitting the group up ever result in positive outcomes? Find out next time on Tabletop Notch.
Welcome back, everybody, to Tabletop Notch. Thank you so much for joining us. We are right now on the cusp of fisticuffs, as we will play a little round of pugilism. It's a homebrew thing of ours, sort of a custom fist-fighting mini-game, basically.
It's dope.
I'll go over the rules really briefly, but I'm not going to go through every little thing. Basically, the way the game works is this. Each combatant takes turns throwing 2 attacks and choosing 1 defense. The attacks are kind of a yellow gold color, and the defenses are kind of blue color. And the defenses negate certain kind of attacks. So you might throw, a head punch, and then someone says, I defend my head, which negates your opponent's attacks. It's sort of just a little play your opponent guessing game kind of thing where you try to determine what they're going to throw and in turn try and hit your attacks without getting hit. Before we begin, it does require a couple rolls, one of which is called the composure roll. It's basically your hit points, but only within the context of pugilism. And the way composure rolls work is you take your hit die. Graven, what is your hit die?
As
a cleric?
Yeah. Oh god, I haven't done this in so long. D8.
D8. So you're going to take a D8, roll it, and you're going to add 15 plus your constitution modifier.
Come on,
So
Graven.
go ahead and roll.
Which is 3. 15, so
18.
18 plus.
18 plus.
8!
So Graven's going to start with 26 composure.
Yes.
Hell yes.
I'm going to roll for Mr. Cleaver, although you're not going to know exactly what he has.
Mr. Cleve. Oh, I don't have my ring girl card.
Hey, Mom.
So I'm at 26, huh?
Now the second thing we're going to do is roll for initiative. Just a regular old initiative roll to see who throws their strikes first.
That I hate so much.
7.
8!
Great. So Graven will be the first to throw strikes.
Okay, we're doing good, we're doing good.
I want to write his name.
So,
About that. Smart.
Wilson Cleaver wraps his wrists around, sort of gets them nice and tight, and you see the circle starting to form again. You see that the guys that sort of drug the wounded elf off to the side could kind of hear some commotion. You see him kind of coming back, kind of looking his way back, like see if someone's gonna beat the man who beat him down.
He's not close enough that I could talk to that guy without it drawing attention.
No, however, you did ask me during the break, and I will allow sort of if you could get a sort of gist of his kind of movements and attacks. Give me a perception check that will say sort of.
Come on,
Too many rolls,
Graven.
man. You've asked me for too many rolls already.
Too much.
Perception.
Come on.
21.
Oh!
So
was
as
very
you were kind of
precise.
peering through the alleyway, you could kind of see through the crowd enough to see that while he's very muscular and he's big, he's a half-orc man, he did sort of play a little more to his speed than his size. You saw that he sort of mostly came in with some strikes to kind of soften up his opponent and then went for kind of a big blow at the end. But otherwise, he didn't lead with his sort of heavy haymakers right off the bat.
Okay.
That's what you kind of noticed as you came.
Yeah.
That was a great perception.
That was an
roll.
extreme
That
was
was.
really and very
So,
useful.
Graven and Wilson Cleaver kind of circle each other a little bit. They sort of test their range. You see some of their hands coming out a little
Come on,
bit.
Graven.
So Graven is going to select his attacks and defense, and I'm going to do the same for Mr. Cleaver here.
Jesus.
You got this.
Oh, let's just see. Let's just see.
Okay. We'll see.
So we have these little play mats that just sort of put everything into place. So as you can see, I've chosen 2 attacks and a defense. Graven has done the same. So Graven comes out swinging first. Couple steps around, Graven moves in. What do you go in with there, Graven?
Body strike
And
times 2.
body strike times 2. He goes for the head protect. As he sort of protects his most vulnerable parts of his body, Graven senses the weakness and kind of goes in for 2 hits. How much composure does he lose for
So
that?
he loses 8.
8 composure.
And I lose 2.
Great. So the heavier strikes also sometimes have what's called a fatigue cost. So it costs Graven a little bit of effort to go in. So he Cleaver loses 8 and Graven loses 2 for expending these.
There we go.
So he sort of
Goliath.
and immediately the sort of fast start immediately sort of people kind of in the crowd kind of looking around like sensing a little bit of the competition.
Yes.
Someone gives Beezaura a nudge and is like,
That's my friend.
and he's gonna come back with a body strike and a head jab.
No.
General defense.
General defense. So you can negate the strike.
Yep.
Sort of general defense allows you to negate any
One
non-heavy
non-heavy.
attack. Great. So Graven sort of tucks his elbows, blocks the blow, but then a little sort of tap to the back of the forehead. You lose 2, and he loses 1 for the strike.
Okay.
All right. So Graven remains going first, striking first until one person gets knocked down, and it's first to 2 knockdowns is the winner. All right. They circle each other once more.
Go Graven!
Are we playing
from
NPCs
afar?
now?
Yeah, I'm doing an NPC. Oh wait, I guess I don't know anything.
No one knows his name.
Go big guy!
Come on, big guy.
Let's go, Goliath.
The Graven growl.
All right. So once more, Graven sort of ducks and goes in. What does he come with?
Wait, doesn't he go first this time?
No, it swaps
Oh.
after one person gets knocked down.
Yeah.
Swaps after a knockdown.
Okay.
Yep. So you're first until a knockdown.
Head jab,
Head down.
body heavy.
He goes for the duck and weave. So ducks out of one, dodges out of the other. So he takes no composure except for the one it costs to play that.
It's okay, it's okay.
And I take 2. I expend 2.
Yes, spends 2 energy. Great. He sort of ducks, and you can see him kind of grinning after that a little bit. And he lurches forward for a double head strike.
Body protect.
Body attack. One fist, and then the other. You lose 10 composure, and he loses 2.
That is bad. That's a bad second
That
one.
same NPC now is going, go Cleaver!
And then the guy leans back in Beezaura. It's your friend, huh?
Come back, you watch.
All right. So Graven sort of shakes it off a little bit. A little smack to the head woke him up.
Calm down.
You've made the Goliath angry.
She's in your corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patting his head.
We just get a soundboard of Graven like exertion sounds.
Could be interesting.
All right. So Graven
go.
sort of shakes it off, comes in with
Come on, Graven.
Body jab, body strike.
body jab, body strike. He goes for the counter, which doesn't do either of them.
Yes.
So
How much composure?
He takes 5.
Takes 5.
I take 1.
All
I
right.
spend 1.
So he's sort of, you can see him kind of holding a hand out like he's going to try and do a reverse, but Graven comes in with 2 quick strikes that sort of get around his defense, and he isn't able to block anything. He comes in with a double head jab. Duck and weave, so double tap to the front of the face, just a couple quick kind of bumps. You take 4 composure, and he loses no fatigue, no composure for that.
Oh, that's right. You just get free jabs, don't
Yeah.
Yeah, jabs don't
Yeah.
cost anything too.
You also can't exert
Jabs
yourself.
don't
Yes, you
cost
can't
anything.
fatigue
Yeah.
yourself into a
Can't.
knockdown.
Which is good for me hitting first right
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
But if I miss with something big, he can take me
Yeah.
out. I'll shut up and just do this, I guess.
You've got this,
I'm scared now. Can he read like what I look like?
I mean, you can play it pretty straight. I mean, I'm sort of playing it. I'm playing it to his fighting knowledge, not to sort of his assessment of you necessarily.
Right. Okay. Okay.
All we can do is like a double and get to 1. That's worth it. Like, you may as well go full damage. You're gonna put yourself in. Yeah. I don't know. You're better at this than me. I don't know.
You can see Cleaver kind of feeling it a little bit. Sort of flexes his hands, and he sort of moves to defend as Graven comes in with.
Head strike times 2.
Footwork negates both of them. All non-jabs are negated. Does expend 3 fatigue for that.
Yeah.
But both of them are negated. As he kind of light on his feet, kind of ducks back, darts back again. And you're surprised a little bit by his kind of agility.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back in after ducking with out of the way with a body heavy and then a head jab.
Counter.
Okay.
So
Hell yeah.
half of that back at him.
So he takes 3 plus the 2 fatigue, so 5, and then you take the 2. Yep.
Okay.
Nice
All right. So as he comes with the big one, Graven kind of pushes him to the side and hits him on the way by, but then kind of gets tapped a little bit just as he's backing up.
This is dope.
Wrong pile.
I really want some chicken wings again. I know. I need some fare.
No.
Oh no!
Oh, he's questioning himself.
Trust your instincts.
Okay. Am I miss?
Uh-oh.
I'm not. There we go.
Which one are you missing? Is it head protect? Okay, this is it.
All right.
It's it.
It's only first round.
I know. I need to start.
All right. Having traded a few blows, the crowd's riled up a little bit. A little bit of breathing, and they kind of step back a little bit, and then come in almost like they're going for a clinch, but the fists start to throw. What do you go with?
Head jab, head heavy.
Duck and weave, they hit! And the two fists connect just as he's kind of coming forward, and it kind of hits him right on the jaw, and he...
Oh yeah! There it is.
I turn to the guy and like, I told you so.
Now, the game is to 2 knockdowns, so he gets back up and makes another composure roll, a new composure roll, and we now switch, so he's going to be striking first. All right, he sort of pulls himself up the ground, and his friend kind of comes over with the towel a little bit. He kind of waves him off. Gets ready. Man.
I'm sweating. God, now I want to rethink. No, do I? No.
Oh my god!
Fine. I thought he was already ready, but he
Oh
wasn't.
no! Come on.
All right.
Oh my god!
You're a psycho.
No, go back.
Oh my god!
All right.
That was anxiety inducing.
Sort of stumbles a little bit, gets himself steady under his feet, and looking to get off to a fast start, he goes body strike, head heavy.
Footwork.
Footwork negates both of them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Fast feet.
Sort of breathing heavy.
And I'm already... It doesn't do anything to me because I'm already too low.
Yes. Yep. You can't fatigue yourself.
Take myself
down.
out.
And Graven comes back with
Head jab, body heavy.
the body heavy hits. The head's protect. So he comes in right to the chest, and then he sort of protects his head as the jab comes in.
So he takes 6.
Takes 6.
Go, Grady.
We'll get such bragging rights around the
Hell yeah, we're gonna be the coolest kids in town.
that no one should know
Beating up
about.
that
Right.
space there.
that are supposed to be
That
secret.
we weren't supposed to make any sort of impact.
We beat up that rich kid.
But remember, we were the guys that beat up the rich guy.
He was well respected.
He was.
He sings songs to the children every Christmas.
Yeah, he's so good.
We're not killing him. He can still sing songs to the children.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
All
He still
right.
has his money.
Yeah.
Once again, he sort of takes the hit to the body, now sort of ducking in a little bit closer. Gets close to Graven, he's sort of almost like he's gonna go into a clinch, but then he kind of swoops down, and he's gonna go for a body heavy with a kind of uppercut and a body jab.
Duck and weave.
Duck and weave, so
Ow.
sort of hits him up both times, and Graven sort of crumples a little bit to the ground, and Graven doesn't sort of collapse, he goes down to one knee and he kind of gets himself back up. So make another composure roll.
Come on,
So,
come on, come on.
So
that's
he-
the D8 again?
Yes,
Yeah,
plus
yeah.
15 plus your constitution.
Come on, kid.
Come on. No, what is it?
3.
Oh.
So,
You did lose the
21.
composure for that heavy
18, so
strike.
21.
Or lose the fatigue for that. Alright. Sort of
Alright.
both of them now, a little wobbly on their feet. Sort of focus in a little bit. The sounds of the people around cheering kind of drowned out by a little bit. Some of the blows that
ringing.
you've taken. Yep, the ringing in your ears.
Give an eye over to Beezaura. Like,
This is it, Graven. Come on.
Alright, so you are now first again. We swap again.
ooh, that's right. Okay. Okay, good. I like
Okay.
I like that. Head jab times 2.
Both hit. He goes for the footwork. And as he's trying to dart around, Graven kind of peppers him with a couple little hits
shit.
there. That was a head jab times
Hell
2.
yeah.
Yep. So
Great.
he takes 4.
Yep, plus the 3 fatigue from footwork.
Yes.
And then he comes back after getting bopped a couple times with a body strike, head strike.
footwork again.
Footwork, and it negates both.
There we go,
Yeah.
there we go.
Good
job, Graven.
But you did 3
Goliath.
fatigue for
Yeah.
the footwork.
3 fatigue.
You've got this, boy.
I see through you, young man.
Oh, now we're.
Boy.
Oh my god.
Wow. That was a lot.
Alright. Alright. Ringing in your ears a little bit. You can tell both of them kind of pushing themselves to the limit here as they go in for one more volley. What do you come in with?
Body jab, body strike.
They both hit with the counter. How much total there?
5. I take 1.
So as he once again kind of winding himself up for a big hit, Graven comes in with 2 light ones and he just isn't quick enough to react, and a little bit of blood running down his nose, a little bit of drool down his chin.
There we go.
There he is. And he comes back with a head jab, body strike.
General defense.
Okay, so you can negate the strike. Great.
Take
So we take the 2 from the head jab.
Yeah.
So Graven kind of tucks in a little bit, playing safe, and he just gets kind of knocked just by the jab on the way out.
All right.
Finish it.
He looks like he's
Yeah.
pretty.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
He looks like he's pretty.
Yeah,
That's
he
all
looks
I'm
like he's
saying.
pretty.
Pretty boy.
He looked prettier
Throw it
a
back
few
in his
minutes
face.
ago, but.
I want this for us.
All right.
You're gonna get it.
And time seems to kind of slow down a little bit. What do you come in with?
Head jab, head strike.
They both hit
Yes!
as he comes in with the body. And he falls backward and he kind of collapses to the ground and everyone kind of. People are like pushing Beezaura on the sidelines a little bit.
Graven just kind of as soon as the next one connects and he feels that it's over, he just kind of puts his hands down to his sides and just stands there tall.
And Cleaver falls to the ground. He's sort of stunned a little bit. He didn't get like knocked out, but you can see him kind of dazed on the ground. And people are cheering, kind of moving around him. And the sort of elf that got beat up is like. And he sort of sits up as best he can, props himself, kind of putting his elbows into the inner parts of his thighs to kind of keep himself propped up.
I bet you're glad I'm not from around here now, aren't you?
Nice. He reaches out a hand
I'll take it.
Oh.
and he pulls him up to his feet.
No.
All right, everyone, get out of here.
And people start to. You see some excited whispering, people kind of moving about a little bit.
Good job.
Well,
So where did you say you were from?
the mountains.
All right. I didn't want money, but is that what you want? Is that what you came here for?
Just a little conversation. If you'd like to take some time, we can meet a little later if you want.
Give me a towel. He reaches out.
He sort of wipes his nose a little bit. He pinches it to kind of keep it to stop bleeding for a moment.
Go on, talk then.
Possibly looking for a few people in town. Someone that goes by the name Pockets.
His like friend is kind of standing there, kind of right over his shoulder, and he kind of looks, hands him back the rag.
Look, I talk a big game. It's important to me that people know that I can back up my words. But I don't have time to track down every person in this stupid city. I have a lot of money. And I use a PI to track down people talking shit about me. You want to find someone in this town? That's who I suggest you find.
Fuck. Okay, fuck.
Wow.
What's his name?
That'll work.
Man's name is Villapont Willoughby.
Villa.
Dope name.
He's got a house here in Fangle, but I understand that he does a lot of work for the Broken Crown, so if you're looking for him during the day, I'd recommend the offices of the Broken Crown.
Where is that exactly?
Point me to both his place and the Broken Crown.
Yeah. You got a map or something?
I do.
You take it out. And he is going to direct you.
This is awesome.
Oh, we've got the camera up already. Great. So this is Wamparani Na. And he's going to direct you. So first he points out the offices of the Broken Crown, which is where a city often hangs out. And he says it's kind of the large building across the bridge once you head over the river, on the south side of the river there, this larger building here.
And we're like right there.
You guys are kind of like right here in a back alley,
okay.
kind of. You didn't get that far before you heard the sounds of the fight. But again, this isn't very far. I mean,
Right.
It's not humongous. So yeah, this is the offices of the Broken Crown. And then he says when he does go to meet Villapont Willoughby at his own place, it is... Let me make sure I have it right on the map. It is here in the kind of near the forest on the western end of Wamparani Na, this building.
That's just his
Personal
place.
residence.
Personal
Yes,
residence.
that's
Okay.
Real.
Spends daddy's money on a PI.
To be like,
Are you kidding? This
To make
guy.
sure no one's talking shit about
This
it.
guy
Hey,
sucks.
that says a lot about this PI, that this guy is real subtle.
Yeah,
He's good.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about the Gubertis, would you?
Everyone knows the Ubertis. What about him?
Where are they on the coast?
He explains. He's aware of
Show
where
this
they
guy
are.
for directions.
This guy's like,
He's like, that's what you want? You just want it, right?
It's a big
just
sign.
ask me.
Yeah, right.
Across the river, past the offices of the Broken Crown. Big building.
Ooh, big building.
Right here.
You get past the crop fields, it'll be on your right.
This big building here, right?
Oh, that's the courtesan house.
It is, that is.
Building's called Reciprocity. But you won't get far there without a good purse of coin, I'll tell you that.
Good to know.
If we invoke your name, will that get us either thrown out or a discount?
I've never been.
Does that seem true?
It's like the most important insight check ever.
Here's the big one for this one. I have a big...
are they all ones?
Count up all those numbers.
Are they all ones?
Mostly.
Just borrow a die from someone.
I have.
Oh, okay.
That was my inspiration.
You used it on this roll.
I did.
It literally thought like a dog was here and it was like his collar.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you for
There's just
trying.
dice on the floor. That
No
happens anytime.
problem.
Like, around here, all the time.
What am I doing?
It was like slow
You're
motion.
seeing if he fucks.
Inside. Look at me go. 23.
Oh my god.
Oh, look at me go.
Sort of in his kind of beat up state, it's a little hard for him to kind of play it cool, and you get the sense that he may on occasion have happened. He had the information very readily available
Right,
to him.
right.
You know, but
I'll just give him like a...
Okay.
he kind of looks away.
Well, fuck. Thank you.
You too. Maybe a rematch when I'm recovered. Maybe somewhere more public where I can earn my stripes back.
If we find ourselves at all hands on deck sometime later, might we see you?
I find myself there sometimes. Although, once again, if you happen to have deeper pockets, he kind of gives Beezaura a look. Whole lot of Safira in Nagarwas is good too.
Too many people go there. The
Some
rich.
people do.
I'll buy you an ale if I see you.
Enjoy Wamparani now.
And that is off. finds his way back to his friend there. And the two of you are here kind of in the end.
We immediately.
You did so well.
I thought I wasn't going to.
Yeah. I was so nervous, but like you were there with me, so.
I kept telling the man next to me that you were going to win.
Dude, it felt good though.
So, where would you like to try first? Do you want to...
I think the first stop is the Broken Crown to see if he's there, and if not, his personal, the PI.
Sure.
Personal residence.
Beezaura and Graven start
Great
to head
lead.
south towards the bridge.
Nice.
along
There we
Promenade.
go.
Worth.
And we are going to head back over
Oh, sorry.
to the elves
they're
and
over there too.
Orba.
Almost there.
Wow.
We're almost there.
You start the next leg of the journey toward Naupa. Curiously, the terrain is flatter, but the river is getting louder, widening, and becoming less clear as splashes of white kick up, traveling over the rocky riverbed. It looks like floodplains are a consideration here, as certain areas are marked with signs indicating kind of soft areas of earth where the overflow might kind of seep in and be dangerous to traverse at a time where it was raining. It's a danger during storms, but it's also fertile ground for agriculture, and your approach to Naupa boasts some of the largest organized stretches of farmland that you've seen since at least Oranchupa, maybe even before that. You've heard of how both the Broken Crown and Emperor Pachacama were both courting Navika-Puras during the war as a potential ally, and it's easy to see how the resources at their disposal would have been in high demand for feeding troops during the most brutal stretches dealing with embargoes, sieges, mass mobilization. After passing what seems like the 100th fenced-in property, grazing cattle watching you go by, you start to see the first cluster of structures on the opposite side of the river that look like the township limits. The closer you get, the more you feel that first sense of a real city since arriving here. Less organized than the others, but still enough buildings to weave between and feel like you've kind of departed from the nature around you. Nagarwis and Nakuzi both still felt like almost like a little village within the nature, but this kind of stands out bigger than the surrounding nature, the forests around it. You head over a bridge. We will take you to Naupa. Oh, we still have that map up. Great. Just had the map up the whole time. No big deal. So you guys are coming in from here, and you head over the bridge. And immediately, like almost starting the new act of a play, you see citizens and laborers crossing back and forth in front of you, a busy little hub nestled into this bend in the Navika River. You guys have arrived in the westernmost township of Navika-Puras, Naupa.
I guess as we're traveling through, just keeping an eye out for like shop signs and stuff, just like notable locations.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Nat 20.
Oh.
As you come over the bridge, you are kind of, you don't walk directly through it, but as you kind of see this open area that leads up toward the road that kind of leads north out of Naupa, you see a little portion of the town that has kind of an upper class air to it. The houses are larger and often made of sturdier materials than the majority of the other kind of structures that you've seen in the other townships and even in the other parts of Naupa. Just by like scanning your eyes, if you look at that and then follow it across, they're not dilapidated, but the other houses are more simple in their construction. These ones are stone, brick, and some of them are painted kind of a deep red or a dark purple. A little bit of status symbols showing off by the construction of these buildings. And among those, you do see a building that is kind of odd in its shape, wedged between two of the other properties. It's very tall and narrow, and it has a carved plaque, and it's a pretty big plaque, that enough that you can kind of see it from a distance. It says Bottled over the door. The place is called Bottled.
And that's
And that is, just make sure I have the exact right one. That's the wrong map. It is, so just at the, so you guys are kind of walking in here and you look up this alley here,
okay.
and it's the, this tiny little structure at the end of that alley. I can put my finger
Got
on it
it.
too, right there, because it's small.
Great.
So yeah, you guys are like, you headed in here, so you're here looking up. This is the area where the sort of nicer upper class buildings are, and that little structure right on the edge of the road is Bottled.
Is that considered Dienst? Or is that...
Let me...
Bummerdo?
That is considered Dienst. Dienst is this kind of
Snootier.
eastern, more sort of, yes, area right across the bridge and at the northern end of the path. That's considered part of Dienst. Yeah. So that's the only one that you see right away.
Okay.
As you come into town.
Well, if memory serves, I believe it was Leto who told us that Celis is in Villa's Vet.
Yes, I have the actual house.
Oh, all right.
Oh, yes, sorry, we may not have mentioned. Llewellyn told us
Oh, all right.
which home.
So.
Oh,
Which one
yeah,
is it? Sorry.
it's this little guy, this weef.
Yeah, it's sort of separated from the other ones in that little field almost.
So, I guess we're going to be heading that way as we pass through. Maybe we'll pass by an inn of some kind. Did Leto say any other things about inns in the west?
He mentioned in the west. Did he mention
He
one that was
mentioned
in the west? He
Wabar.
mentioned what was the name of it?
I didn't catch it. I wrote the one down that we were going to.
Oh, okay.
The Upa Ale House was the one he mentioned. Yeah. He did not. You didn't ask where it was, but he mentioned that there was a tavern in Upa called the Upa Ale House.
Okay.
So are you hoping to meet Celis at the ale house, or?
No, I was just we could keep an eye out for it in anticipation of spending the night here if we need to.
Okay. So should we walk around and I suppose look for this guy, or do you want to just head to his house and see if he's there first?
I guess let's head to his house. I don't know what he looks like.
It's a good place to start, heading to his house.
The only place to start. I mean, not the only, I suppose, but probably the best.
As we walk to, I guess I'll see if anybody is walking around that's drawing the eye of other people. Like, I would picture if Cliff and Celis were, like, walking about town, that people would...
That you might be able to tell that?
Or that people would, like, draw their eyes to them or something.
It's possible. I can say you keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
I mean, people are very busy here. It's a very sort of more commercial area than some of the other smaller townships, so people are moving about their business. But you can keep an eye out for possibly a figure of note that seems to be drawing people's attention.
Also, I believe there was a blacksmith... Oh, no, maybe that was... That was Nakuzi, wasn't... Yeah, it was
No,
Nakuzi.
blacksmith was in Nakuzi, yes.
Okay, never mind. Okay,
Which I
yes.
assume is where Leto works.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I forgot. Okay. Well, let's just head there, I guess.
Alright, you guys start to move through town.
Okay.
Are you taking kind of the most direct route in terms of like a straight line? You want to follow the river? Give me an idea of what you guys are trying to kind of accomplish. If you kind of want to maybe see more of what's in town as you're moving through, you can move through the middle. It might be quicker to move along the coast. You're not
Why
pushing
don't
through the crowds.
we, just so we maximise our chances of maybe running into someone or finding something out, we can go through the town. It's a less direct route, but that way if we see them, maybe we'll see them on the way. And if not, then at least we know our way round a bit.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys start to move your way through town. You start to walk through kind of this larger, more central area. Bow Myrtle, which is the kind of center of town, the neighborhood of Naupa. And you guys make your way in. And the sound immediately starts to pick up as you move into sort of this more central area. And you can hear a little bit of revelry and sort of camaraderie coming from something up ahead. And as you get into this kind of open, I realize there's another thing on, as this more sort of open courtyard area, you see in the center of Bow Myrtle, this kind of densely populated portion, there's this courtyard area. It's decorated with banners and bunting kind of around the exterior. There's ample seating in the form of concentric circles cut down into the ground that create these kind of long benches. It looks like a small amphitheater, like you'd see, like for outdoor performances, an outdoor performance space. And it's adjacent to a kind of two-story tavern. It has a large sign written in calligraphy. It says the Upa Ale House. And an awning is jutting out from the side of the building. There's tables available in the shade that are closer to the bar. Half indoors, half outdoors. It looks like a nice spot to sort of possibly enjoy nice weather or stay indoors and have a drink. It's a clever design. There's more seating on a second floor balcony, and it looks like if you're on the balcony, you can see down into the amphitheater. So you could either be kind of up close where the action is, or enjoying a drink from a distance. For now, the stage is empty. Doesn't look like there's a performance going on. There's a few people sitting in there just having a drink or enjoying the weather. And the outdoor bar looks like it's being run by an elven woman with curly red hair that kind of falls to her shoulders, got a face full of freckles dancing across her cheekbones. She seems to be kind of cheerily multitasking, serving a few ales about. So you see the Upa Ale House sort of in full swing as you guys are passing by.
Which building is it? Is
This,
it the,
whoops. This is a courtyard.
Oh,
there,
it's the- I
that's,
see.
like, sort of large.
That's including the amphitheater and the ale house?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So you guys see that, and you can continue on by.
If we can find a bard for our party.
No.
No singing.
Well,
That looks like fun.
Yeah, it does. What do you think they do in this?
I don't know. Like, are there any like flyers or like postings of?
Not like that, no.
Okay.
Not like upcoming acts. No, you don't see that.
I'm just curious. Well, shall we keep moving, or anything of interest? Anyone here?
I'm okay. Probably not a good time to have a beer. So.
No, maybe later.
afterwards.
Alright. You guys continue. You weave your way through the kind of irregular streets of Naupa, and you make your way towards Villersvet, little neighborhood removed from the more busier, more crowded parts of the township.
Sorry.
I got there. And closest to the western road that crosses the river and heads out toward the dense woods that you saw on your map as you decided on this route coming up from Tuktum. The description that you were given leads you to a kind of small grassy field that you go across, towards a charming little abode with a kind of heavily sloped blue-tiled roof, little spires along the ridges that have spinning metal devices attached, perhaps to kind of measure the strength of the wind as it blows through, kind of as a way to sort of calculate that. There's a robust chimney that makes you think that the fireplace is used for more than just cooking. It's quite large. The whole building is raised up on a stone foundation. It looks like it's almost kind of being served to you on a platter as it stands out in the middle of this field. And you've seen large chimneys like this. You can imagine that for sort of dealing with certain magical ingredients, you need something that vents a little better than sort of a standard household chimney. So it certainly has the look of it of someone who's dealing with herbs, magic,
Is there anything coming out of the chimney?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. And it's still light out at this point.
Yeah, so you guys have gotten here, it's probably like 4:30?
Okay. That's it.
We'll is there a place for us to lean nearby, like Safira and I, hang out?
There's kind of a big open field. There's some trees a little bit to the south of the house. Otherwise, not really. There's not public benches if that's what you're looking for.
Just on the off chance that
I
he
die,
is here. No, I don't think. I hope. Gods, I hope you're not going to die. But on the off chance that maybe what you have to present to him is, I don't know, stressful, upsetting, any number of things. Erland, and I'm sorry to maybe suggest this, do you want to talk to him first and ask about a contract in case this other thing pisses him off?
I trust that the Tiefling...
Don't look at me like that! Do you want to lose him? Because we're about to.
No, hold on here. Everyone hold on. I trust that the Tiefling
Orba.
approaching first, not the time Safira.
Fuck's sake.
If Orba approaches first, I think that will be safest for all of us.
Okay. I just asked because
If it pisses him off,
you'll look elsewhere?
I'll go talk to the Molifiers or something.
That's gonna make a loud crinkly noise.
This isn't about you.
I know. I apologize.
Keep the DM
Yes, well.
So,
You walk into the house.
So we'll I'll sort of point to sort of a set of trees near the house. I'll say, Safira and I will sort of wait over there. We're not going to hide or anything.
Okay.
Signal to us if it seems like we can enter, or
if you need us, obviously.
Or if you need us.
simply call for,
and we'll wait here until we hear anything.
Okay.
And Safira's gonna kind of give her a little squeeze on the shoulder and good luck. It's been a long time coming, yeah?
Yeah. Thanks.
Good luck, Orba.
Thanks. Okay. And she's also gonna take the mouther dregs out of her saddlebags.
Okay.
Just have those ready.
Sure.
There we go. And she holds these like disgusting cans of grossness.
And I'll sort of like nod to Safira to like head over
Let's
towards
find a
the
little spot.
Yeah.
Shade.
Okay.
There's no signs or anything. I mean, you've been told that it's his kind of personal residence, that he does sell some things and stuff, but that, you know, it is mostly used as his personal.
Okay, so Orba's like looking down at herself, trying to think of how she wants to compose herself or present herself. Well, she's gonna make sure her hair looks nice, and then she's gonna she's gonna hold her spell book. She's gonna have the ring, spell book, and one of the dregs.
There we go.
She's gonna be kind of like holding all three. All three. And she's gonna go up to the door. And she's gonna...
And as you go to knock on the door, it kind of seems like it was open. And you can hear some talking, but it doesn't sound like it's in on the other side of the door, like deeper in the house, maybe.
Windows? Do I see it?
There are some windows. They're mostly curtains drawn. It seems like he kind of keeps his privacy when it comes to his...
Okay. Can Orba, like, poke her head in a little bit?
Push the door open. And based on the exterior, you're expecting a much larger space.
Yeah.
But it looks like this kind of foyer area is sectioned off to keep either customers or visitors kind of away from his magical equipment, the things, you know, his sort of valuables that he may have set up in other rooms. There's a few display cases containing various arcane focuses. You see orbs, crystals, wands, sort of in these delicate glass display cases. Art on the walls, mostly aquatically themed. You see paintings of ships, beaches, and islands. There's 2 doors leading out of this room. One closed, and one ajar. The ajar one kind of opposite from you. If you were to push the door open, it would be directly opposite you.
Uh-huh.
And upon hearing the door creak open just a little bit, you see a man stick his head through the ajar door. Young, clean-shaven. He has a red wimple, sort of a little... it goes over his head as like kind of a hood, and then it's on his on his chest.
Okay.
And he has kind of a gold trim, and it's draped around his head and his neck. I'm sorry, that door should have been locked. Celis is not in, and we're not currently open to customers.
I'm not the customer, actually.
And as you're speaking, you hear another voice coming from the other room. Deeper, more sonorous, and 2 guards, fully clad in plate armor, emerge, swords in their scabbards and they're barrel-chested, and you hear a voice. It's all right, pal. I'm just about finished here. No need to lose a customer on my account. And they're leading the way for an elven man that follows behind. An uneven graying beard, thinning hair that does little to obscure his pointed ears, that look like they've taken a beating over time, kind of nicked in places, slightly sagging at the tips. He's less armored than his guards, but he does have an iron breastplate covering his chest. And he looks tired. Not tired like defeated or run down, but weary with the responsibilities that he bears, and a life of being forever on the move. Beneath thick eyebrows, his eyes move to meet yours, and you see the same seafoam green irises of Lady Salandriel in this man that must be her kin. You see the face of Cliff Ironcloud walk through the door. He takes a piece of paper in his hand, and he hands it to the man that sort of greeted you at the door, tried to turn you away. I'm giving this list to you. When I see Celis, I'll inform him it's in your possession, and the 2 of you can see about getting me what I need. Have a good day.
As he was doing that, Orba's gonna put the ring on her finger and have the book, like, you know, she's grabbing the
Okay.
book.
He kind of gives you a little nod as he passes, but it looks like he barely looks you over. I mean, his sort of need to kind of go on with his business. He starts to walk, and his 2 guards are kind of following behind him.
I come from, Salandriel. And she'll take a glance down to her ring.
A lot of people come from a lot of places to talk to me. There are those who would invoke my sister's name to get my attention, but I find that few can produce proof of such an interchange. Are you one such person?
She'll take the ring off and reach
He
forward.
sees the ring. Now kind of look, he didn't even really notice it. He's like, you can tell this guy meets hundreds, thousands of people and like sort of glazes over, but he sees the ring as you hold it out to him. And he reaches out to it. Did you travel alone?
Not for the most part.
Your traveling companions didn't happen to be 2 humans, another tiefling, and a tabaxi, did they?
No, but I know the ones you refer to.
I assume you know who Celis is. You came here looking for him. He's a talented mage and a close friend of mine. And he's able to verify the authenticity of certain things, even ones not magical in nature. I want you to bring this to him. Let him have a look at it. And depending on how that turns out, maybe we have a longer conversation.
I was told I need to give something to you, and it has been quite some time.
With all due respect, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Okay. Where can I find him?
Fall back a spell. And the other people not only kind of back up, they move into another room.
Wow.
The other guy moves, the sort of assistant and the 2 guards, they go into another room, so it's just the 2 of you kind of standing in this smaller area. Celis will occasionally work on projects dangerous in nature, practice spells of destructive power. Such tasks are not suited to being performed within the town limits, so he's got a laboratory. Do you have the ability to detect the presence of magic?
Yes.
Good. That'll make this easy then. Follow the west bank of the river north until you see a patch of trees of a different color. They're yellow, and they don't change with the seasons. Start detecting and follow the lines. You'll know it when you see it. I'll make sure he knows you're coming.
Thank you.
He's currently working on something for me, and I'd rather he have time to complete it, so you need to wait until nightfall, you understand me?
Okay.
Can you occupy yourself until then?
Okay.
And one more thing. I'm telling Celis that you're coming alone. Don't make a liar out of me.
Yes, sir.
All right. And he hands you the ring back.
Thank you.
And he goes back and he kind of bangs on the door. It opens up and his guards come in. Have a good day now.
Good day.
And he pushes his way out the door. And you're left kind of in the room with the assistant that kind of had the little list that, or, you know, note that he got from Cliff. And he sort of stands there. Is there anything else that you need?
What's your name?
Pyle.
Pyle?
P-Y-L-E, Pyle, yeah.
Do you work for Celis?
I do, yes.
Are you a mage of some kind?
I am not. Just an assistant.
What's he like?
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Do you sell any of this stuff?
Yes.
Is it expensive?
Depends. What would you like? What are you looking for?
I don't know. Oh, do you want some gibbering mouther dregs? I was told that Celis used...
As you take him out, he kind of recoils a little bit.
I was told that Celis likes these.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, never mind. What about... Oh, I have a wand that I could possibly sell you. Do you buy things?
What's the condition?
She'll take out the wand with the tassel on it, the one that she took from a dead body.
Oops.
I could probably give you 10 for it.
10 gold?
Yes. those, and he opens up a little drawer that seems to have a collection of coins in it. Kind of take a quick glance out. Needs a bit of polishing, but looks good in condition.
I thought so. Okay. Nice to meet you. Orba's gonna like awkwardly kind of walk out.
Push your way back out the
Yeah.
door. So, outside, Erland and Safira are kind of waiting in the trees a little bit in the shade. They see the door open. Orba was the last one in. The door opens. You kind of expect Orba to come out. You see an elven man, flanked by 2 guards on either side, clearly heavily clad in armor, and he immediately sort of beelines straight sort of back into the main portion of town.
So that wasn't Celis, was it?
We would have heard a struggle. We would have heard a struggle.
What? What do you mean we would have? Why are you saying that?
If something
What do you
went
mean?
wrong, I'm just
And now
saying...
Safira's like...
No, I'm saying, relax. I'm saying if something would have gone wrong, we would have heard something.
I certainly fucking hope so. Who does that look like to you? Someone important, obviously.
Perhaps... one of the Iron Clouds, perhaps?
Perhaps, I don't know. I don't know what they look like.
Regardless, I'm not going to go talk to him.
Neither am I. I'm just wondering if you, recognized him.
A couple minutes pass, and Orba backs her way out the door.
So Orba's gonna like have her head down and like look kind of sad, and she's gonna start walking towards Erland and Safira. And after a couple seconds, she's gonna look at them. I did it! And she's gonna run and like give them hugs. I did it!
Okay.
You saw Celis?
No, I didn't see Celis. It didn't matter. I don't need to. I did.
What did you do?
That was Cliff.
That was...
Whoa!
Did you speak with him?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
And you guys are a little surprised. He was clearly, well armored, but he keeps a nondescript look. His men aren't carrying banners, the armor's not polished up. He's not, this is a guy that's, a little more business than he is flash. I mean, he didn't immediately jump out to you as someone, that must be extremely important, but...
What did you do?
I met Cliff.
All right.
So that's what I thought you wanted to meet Celis.
Well, I'm
I'm
going
not
to.
trying to rain on your
I'm going
parade.
to. I'm going to. Okay, so truth is, I may have left out a couple of pieces of information just in case because I wasn't sure and I didn't know. But now that this happened, I
Right,
can
we
probably
kind of
tell you.
figured that part out.
Okay, yes.
Cliff is who I needed to talk to. Cliff
Okay.
is who I was instructed to take the page to. I still need to go to Celis so that I can be validated in some weird way before I can talk to Cliff fully. But he acknowledged my existence, which is great.
So Cliff was whoever...
It's her brother. I was sent to see her brother.
Your lady?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice guy?
Seemed okay.
The Iron Clouds have a
Okay.
presence outside of Navika-Puras?
She's an instructor at the halls. She's who taught me.
So
Sweet.
your
Salandriel.
Salandriel.
Please don't go telling people that, but yes.
Sure.
At this point, sure, I will tell you.
Salandriel. You worked for Salandriel at the halls.
I worked in the vicinity of her presence. I wouldn't say I was her employee or
So
anything.
how did she come to choose you for this, what seems to be extremely dangerous and difficult errand?
Well, I've been at the halls for a pretty long time, and over the course of it, I would go through the libraries, and I would read books, and I would try to teach myself spells, and then one day I made a bit of a mess in the library with one of the spells,
Okay.
and she found me, and then she started teaching me.
That's nice of her.
Yeah. And then she gave me this page,
And this is the
and then
page
she put
that...
me on a boat, and now I'm here.
Right.
And this is the page that you think could perhaps help our Goliath fight.
Yes.
Possibly.
We should be careful what we say.
But anyways, so Celis was really just the way to get to Cliff because I thought that Cliff would
But
be
I thought Celis was the guy that could look at the...
Yeah, crazy coincidence, right? Well, Celis is a very powerful wizard, so he would probably be able to help me with this, but...
So did Salandriel tell you what the ring and the page are for?
Nope.
She just said, deliver this to my brother Cliff.
I was escorted out of the halls in some haste one night, in the middle of the night, because
I wasn't allowed to leave.
Did you decide to do this mission, or were you just kind of shipped off on a boat without any choice?
That one.
So we like this lady?
Yeah.
We do?
Yes.
Even though she put you on a boat?
Safira.
I'm just asking questions.
So you truly don't know what this mission that you've been so determined to accomplish, you have no idea why you've even been sent on it.
She sacrificed a lot.
Okay, and just going over this again, you're sure you trust her?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're meeting Celis then?
Yeah.
When and where?
Okay, so I have to wait until tonight, and I have to go alone, but he has a laboratory in the forest, and I'm able to discover it because of my magical senses, and I will go and I will meet him
why
there.
would I be worried that you're going to a strange magical forest
I went into the
laboratory?
house
Why
by
would
myself,
I be afraid?
and I came out
you
just
were,
fine.
The house
Just
is
fine.
in a town. It's in a town, there are people. If there were screaming, people would come.
Cliff knew of me.
You're
and
saying you
possibly-
trust these people and
Yes.
you don't think they're going to hurt you?
Yes.
Saphira, she's gone this far without you.
I'm not even arguing. I'm just saying my stomach is going to be in knots. It's absolutely, what I'm saying
Well-
is purely out of selfishness.
That's okay.
I'm going to be a disaster. You're going to have to get some kind of time limit on this thing, because at a certain point we're going to start panicking.
Okay.
I'm going to start panicking.
I appreciate your care and attention. I do. I very much appreciate it.
Because the thing is, I will feel slightly, at least a little bit, responsible, because you told me,
Well, sure.
well, she's going to this laboratory in the woods, well, I'm sure she'll be fine, and then if you're not fine, well, you know, then that's my fault, probably.
That's not your fault, it's my fault, because I went. It will be okay. And in the meantime, you can think about how to save his bum.
That's not until tomorrow, so...
Again, you keep saying that it's not until tomorrow.
I don't know why you're procrastinating on any of this, because it all feels, I don't know, fairly imminent would be the word I'd use.
Well, I don't honestly know what I'm going to do until tomorrow then. It's still early.
Well, how about we leave this place, because we're just having a conversation in front of his house, and we go maybe to find an inn of some kind, or do any more shopping. We could even go back to Nakusi if you wanted to, since I don't have to be here until after nightfall.
Look, as much as I would love to just sit down somewhere and grab an ale, you've got to find someone important to ask for a contract, otherwise we're going to lose you. And
Well,
frankly...
I'm hoping that after she speaks, if she has an in with this Cliff Ironclad, perhaps that's probably my best bet in Navika-Puras. I'm not going to gain an audience with the Mole Affairs. I mean, yes, this Steedaway contract provides some motivation, but there's no guarantee that I can even find a Mole Affair.
I will also say, it did seem like Cliff had his hands full a little bit. Maybe he could use some extra help.
Alright, so she meets with Celis tonight. Hopefully that goes well and she gets an audience with Cliff.
Yes.
And then you do whatever you need to do and ask if there's any way that I can help.
I will.
Alright.
Of course I will.
So until then, I suppose I can... There's not too much I need to prepare for tomorrow. I suppose I just need to set up some sort of
Buy a
ambush.
silly hat.
I'm not buying a silly...
Please buy a silly hat. It'll be so funny. Put it on somebody else.
It's not funny if the person dies!
Well, it'd be funnier than if he dies.
It's not funny at all. Neither of those situations are funny. What's funny is him in a hat would be funny, but that you have to be outside of the ambush.
Look, I will...
What? We've got to come up with some kind of plan.
It would take like 6 hours to walk to the coast from here, right?
Yeah, longer.
So remind me, where's this ambush taking place? They didn't tell you exactly?
Somewhere here tomorrow.
Somewhere here?
They're
What
gonna get back in touch, and I'll have to give them
Did
a
they say
specific.
when?
Okay.
Tonight or tomorrow.
Keep an eye on your,
Yes.
What do you say? We go somewhere nice, and we celebrate.
All right.
Okay, where would that be?
To the-
Do you want to
to
go
the
to that
Orba
little,
Ale House?
that amphitheater thing? I wonder if they've got like a show. Maybe they've got a thing.
Or like, was there anywhere in Nakusi you wanted to go to?
Anything
Whatever you want.
tickle your fancy here?
And while they think about where they may
We're
or
going
may
to
not
a
be
show.
headed to,
Okay.
maybe going to a show,
We're going to the theater.
maybe a rare moment of thinking that they might have nothing to do for a short period of time.
Go get some popcorn.
Just
Come on,
stand
shop.
around.
Graven and Beezaura make their way through Wamparana, navigating along the busy streets, and you find a kind of little thoroughway that takes you all the way to the Navika River, where a wide stone bridge not only takes you to the south bank, but also has an excellent view to the east where the river opens up into the ocean. Tall masts of ships kind of peek out over the rooftops, and the sails are emblazoned with various heraldic designs that might denote places that they came from, their place of origin. And just past the bridge, on your right, as you get across, you turn the corner, and there's a guardhouse-looking structure. Seems to be what you're looking for. Though you do note the distinct lack of black and purple banners that you've previously seen proudly displayed on any and all Broken Crown-owned buildings. The guards are stationed outside, some of the first you've seen since being in Navika-Puras, and their armor is similarly nondescript. Metal breastplates, padded leather underneath. Soldiers that, when they're on duty, maybe prefer to blend in rather than flaunt their association to the Broken Crown, which again has a mixed reputation in Navika-Puras. So you guys stand outside the building. A couple of guards there.
I guess no hiding it. We just go in asking for the man.
I guess so.
Maybe I'll start by asking for contracts.
I guess it's the way to introduce ourselves.
Let's get to know them.
Yeah.
Test the waters.
You head inside the building. The guards they give you kind of a polite nod as you head in. They don't stop you. It's not unusual, as you've seen before, for someone to seek work at the offices of the Broken Crown. And it regains some of its familiarity. It kind of like the command center that you saw way back in Ern Chupa. There's these rows of desks, purple accents along the windows, men and women kind of busying themselves with ledgers, charts, some of them using scales to count out quantities of coin, maybe for contracts. And there's a young dwarven man with a furrowed brow kind of sitting at the closest desk. And there's a small wooden sign on his desk that reads Civilian Inquiries. And he seems to be comparing like two pieces of paper. Like he's looking at one and then the other. And he's kind of frustrated. He doesn't seem to know what to make of them. And you guys kind of walk into him.
With my height, can I get an angle on what he might be looking at?
He's holding them up. Give me a perception check, but it's pretty tough to see from there.
That is...
That's...
I'll read. That was cocked. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
There we go.
He's holding these two pieces in your hand, and as Graven Beezaura's kind of getting on her tiptoes to try and see and can't see anything.
Can I go underneath?
And Graven sees Beezaura doing it and kind of leans a little bit while kind of towering over him. He's holding two pieces of paper in his hand. They're pictures, and they seem to be very similar.
Oh, God.
Two pictures of Safira that he's holding in his hands. You recognize her right away.
Yeah.
Her hair's a little longer now than it was a time ago. And he's kind of looking at the pictures.
That's the guy at the not Broken Crown.
He's just kind of looking. And then finally, as you're sort of there, he notices you. And as he sees you, he kind of puts them down. And he kind of,
Oh my god!
hello, I'm Supervisor Reggie. How are you today?
Well, you
Good, fine.
seemed frustrated.
Just a bit of something I forgot about and got yelled at about it.
Yelled about.
Kind of looks around a little bit. It's not important. Contract, it's not important. What can I do for you?
Speaking of contracts, is that something that I could make some gold off of?
Give me a persuasion check.
Come on, please get the contract on me.
Persuasion. 13.
You're welcome to inquire about contracts, but that one's not available to the public, as it were.
Why is that?
Just some contracts are a little more specialized for people who have a better reputation with the Broken Crown.
What if I told you I already know something about that?
What do you know?
Don't tell anything.
Just looked familiar.
He sort of takes the papers and gives them a little look. Would you like
Strange
me to read?
hairstyle, isn't it?
I suppose, sort of short.
Is it a dangerous contract?
No, I don't think so. Somebody's looking for somebody. Like I said, it's not a contract for the public. Do you want to know about the other contracts?
Who is it a contract for, then?
I can't tell you that. Do you have good standing with the Broken Crown?
Fuck me.
Oh, the fucking writ.
So fucking
I have a writ, but not on me.
You know how many times I hear that every day? I have a writ, but it's not on me. Yeah, go get it then.
I'm gonna like put my fists on the table and just lean down and be like, I have a writ.
Go get it.
The sass.
The civilian contracts, then.
And he sort of grabs a ledger dramatically and kind of... Let's take a look.
This guy's friends.
His aunt.
It's really long.
A servant has escaped from the halls of transmutation. 1 tiefling. 600 gold pieces for their safe recovery. There's an addendum. A stolen item from the halls may be in their possession that could help you identify them. A silver ring with a sapphire gem.
600 for Orba.
What was that? You know it!
You said what?
Yeah. I'm like, she's in Orba anyway. They won't find her.
Next one. Thorsten Ramaker. R-A-M-A-K-E-R. Thorsten Ramaker. A member of the Wampiranina Militia Reserve is looking for help on a case involving a string of deaths that he believes to be related in some way. It is noted that the Broken Crown has done some independent investigation and determined that the deaths were not related, but the contract is allowed to stand for now. 100 gold for satisfactory help, scaling up to 200 plus additional valuables if a credible suspect is apprehended. Number 3. A flock of axebeaks has been eating and destroying crops at Zanset Farms. Z-A-N-S-E-T-T, Zanset. Doug Zanset is paying 15 gold per bird to exterminate the axebeaks.
Wow.
Up to 5 birds for a total of 75 gold total.
That's pretty good per bird.
At that point, the axebeaks are likely smart enough to know that it's too dangerous to come back, so he's hoping that that will serve as a proper deterrent. Alternatively, Farmer Zanset is paying 35 gold per bird to corral them into holding pens so they can be trained and domesticated. Once again, up to 5 birds for a total of 175 gold.
That's gonna be so much harder.
And finally, Emma Pasternackle, P-A-S-T-E-R-N-A-C-K-L-E, Pasternackle. A custodian at the short ports is looking for someone physically small to help clear a blockage from a sewage pipe. There is a note from the contract issuer. Do not send a child or bring your own child. We tried that already and the kid got stuck. I was officially rebuked for it. Again, do not send children.
No children.
Payment is 5 gold.
That's it.
Well, it's a sewage pipe blockage. It's not exactly dangerous.
And who is Emma?
Emma works at the short ports. She's a custodian there.
You take contracts for as little as 5 gold.
If they're willing to pay the fee for it, we take them. We just find that most people don't bother.
What kind of a percentage does the Broken Crown get?
Not much. There's a minimum, so I would guess we collected probably 2 gold on that contract.
Jeez.
What would a writ get me?
Well, it sort of looks like there's 2 additional contracts out.
Have they been there for a while? And if I came back even later today, do you think they still would be?
Sort of looks at his documents. One of them's fairly new, one of them's fairly old.
That one?
I don't know.
Scar.
Well, it's either been frustrating you for a long time, or you just remembered it, so...
I mixed up my papers, if you care, and now I don't know which is which. That's what I was frustrated about.
Just want a copy.
No, there was an old one, and then it was updated. and I don't know which one is the update and which one's the old one. So you can see how that would be frustrating.
I see.
Quite.
Anything else?
Yes. I was told that I might find a Villapont Willoughby here.
He does do work for us on occasion. He's not in today.
You haven't seen him at all today?
No, he was supposed to report, which usually means he's drunk somewhere.
Oh, do you know where he frequents?
There's only one big tavern in Wampiranina. All hands on deck.
I see.
Do you have any kind of shorter nickname for that place?
For all hands on deck?
Yes.
The deck, some people call it.
I like it. Farewell.
He goes back to his car. You guys exit out the door. So we got that.
Well, I mean, if we really need some gold, I guess I could get in a sewage pipe.
What is going on with Safira?
She didn't see it, remember?
There's something going on with Safira. We'll make our way out.
Yes,
and back
and you can explain
back to
better
the
than you saw,
horses.
yes.
Yeah. I saw what he was looking at. It was two close-up portraits of Safira with her hair a little shorter.
And he said it was updated.
Yes, somebody has been looking for her for a long time and just updated it. The
You
pictures
will.
look very
I would
similar.
also say you certainly could note when you first met Safira, she didn't have short hair and she cut it. She
Yeah.
used a blade. So
Yeah.
it's between that time. You know, it's she doesn't have long hair in
Right.
the portrait. So it's after that, after you met her.
Somebody put out a contract 3-ish weeks ago with her because her hair was short. And she cut it when we first met. And they've recently updated it. There's somebody looking for her.
Wasn't very good.
I think when we see her, we should.
Yes, we should tell her that. Not that the Broken Crowns. There is a contract
Someone
out
is
for her.
looking for her.
For ill or for good. We need to get that writ.
And I will say also, and you would know this because you've done lots of contract work. There are all kinds, not necessarily like a bad bounty. It could be someone
Right.
who's desperately trying to get in touch with her.
Exactly.
Yeah, it could be any number of reasons.
Yeah.
You know, without seeing it, you don't know that.
And the first that you talked about.
No. Just a different contract that we're not allowed to see. I would imagine that that's the newer one. Yes. The other one's at least a few weeks old.
Well,
Although, what does he mean by burial? I don't know. We'll have to come back.
we don't have dates.
Let's
go.
I say we check his house first and then the bar. Or
Alright.
what do you think?
If it's closer to check his house, then we can go there first.
You guys are
Aren't we
closer.
like right there?
It's kind of this.
Are we
where
right?
where is?
It's
Oh, I keep
literally kind of
thinking
in
we're
between.
on-
We'd have to go back over the river.
Yeah. So the bar is.
The bar's right here.
Yep. Bar is there
Well,
in the
we're
corner.
over there.
You guys are here.
But the bridge
Bridge is here.
there, so we'd have to kind of go
This
up.
is the bar, and then his house is all. Yeah, his house is
Oh.
further from where you guys are right now.
You know,
Yeah.
I say we check.
And then I gave you the location. This,
Yeah.
yeah. Those are all.
I say we try his house first. That way we can get a possibly private talk, and then
I guess.
narrow it down to the busiest place.
I did want to see about the Bertie. Do you want to do that on the way back?
Do you want to just split up? I'll go to his house, you go to Uberti, and then. I mean, if you want backup, I'll come with you. Sure.
Just in case.
Okay.
So there first?
Uberti's.
Thank you.
You guys sort of move along the south side of the river. A bit of the general rabble of the town kind of fades into the background. Strong breeze tussling the wide fields of wheat on your left. Batting the barley back and forth with a sound, almost like kind of turning over a rain stick. It has that kind of like back and forth across the field. You follow a dirt path. It gets kind of thinner and thinner. Not an area of overwhelming foot traffic, but still consistent enough to leave a permanent trail. until you reach the address that you were given for reciprocity. You're going off of assumption because there is no sign, and for a moment you start to doubt the directions that you were given. You come across a kind of three-sided courtyard surrounded by a U-shaped two-story building with balconies all around the interior. To use a modern example, it's kind of motel-ish. It kind of has that, like, all of the balconies sort of face in toward the courtyard. There's probably about 12 separate doors you can see. And in the center, the courtyard has a simple but elegant fountain, trickling water down 4 tiers of stone baths. Seated on the edge of the fountain are 2 people. A human woman in a black dress with a high collar that kind of extends out behind her neck, almost like a little frill behind her head. She has small jade stud earrings and 2 peacock feathers woven into her dark hair that's pulled back into a tight bun. And she has black lipstick, thick eyeliner, her facial features making it very distinct even at a distance. The person next to her sits upright and perfectly still. They're wearing a deep red cloak over a stark white robe. It has a very sort of contrasting color. Hooded so that the top of their head is covered. And they have a white, plain, full-face mask with little eye slits cut out. And they're gloved as well. So looking them over, top to bottom, there isn't a single square inch of skin showing. And the woman's kind of reading a book, sitting on the edge of the fountain. And the other person sort of sitting upright, full mask, hood, cloak, and kind of approach there.
Hello?
She closes her book. Don't speak.
Oh.
Close your eyes. Imagine a place of great beauty or deep comfort. A place that means something to you. Picture the colors. Imagine the smells, the sounds. Touch your fingers together and remember what it feels like to be there. Now keep your eyes closed and describe it to me. Be brief or don't, but take me there. Bring me with you to your world.
Go ahead. It's actually not a place I've been, but where I want to go.
Tell me.
It's by the water, a beach, and I'm all alone. And there's nothing for miles. And I just sit in the sand.
Sounds beautiful.
It is.
Open your eyes and come with me. She stands. And she starts to walk kind of up toward one of the outdoor staircases that leads up to one of the balconies. She doesn't turn back around. Do you follow her?
I look at Graven and I'm like,
Can we even tell what race she is?
She's human. She is.
Okay.
She's not fully like covered up.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just her, whoever's
Okay.
sitting next to her.
But
yeah,
you
she's
can't
human.
tell. You can't tell what the other's races are.
No.
come alone.
She's already kind of walking off towards the staircase.
Will you wait here? I follow him.
You follow her up the stairs. And she goes up and she stands next to one of the doors. And the cloaked, masked person follows behind you. And eventually when you get to the top of the stairs, passes by you. And she opens the door. She opens the door a little bit. And you can see inside. It's a very sort of plain, painted walls, white, floor, white, ceiling, white. There's a nice but simple bed in the center of the room. And she allows the person in the covered sort of mask and robe inside, and then closes the door. The two of you still on the outside. Graven can still see you there, standing on the balcony, sort of facing into the courtyard. Describe someone you met recently that intrigued you.
Well, she's a tiefling. And very good at magic.
What kind of magic?
She likes crystals. She's young.
Tell me, what makes you feel powerful? A feat of strength? An advancement in your career? A kill?
I'd say killing is nice, but being in charge also feels good.
Yes. She sort of listens at the door. And she pushes on the door a little bit, and you can see, like, because of that sort of bright red robe, you can see that maybe the person that was sort of covered up is at the other side of the door. She pushes it open, and the person comes back out, still the same, covered in the same robe, red, white underneath, but she pushes the door open. And where there was a stark white room is a beach that extends out into infinity. You can see all the way down, and there's a dock that kind of reaches out into the water. And you can hear the sounds of the waves, and it smells like the ocean, the salt and the breeze. And you can kind of take one step into the room, and you look around, and all the walls have just kind of disappeared, and it seems like you could walk infinitely in any direction. The shade of a tree kind of peeking just over your head, and it feels good as you kind of stick your hands out into sunshine. You're not sure, but you can feel it beating down on your hands, the warmth, the air around you. Immersion is our expertise. The proof is complementary, but the experience is not. Even if this isn't what you came for, I guarantee you will think of nothing but how to come back in the coming days.
So, in order to stay here, I pay you.
Yes. That is what we do at Reciprocity.
How long does it last?
Up to 24 hours.
And I would just be here.
You get to live your dream.
And when it ends?
Then you come back here. And if you like to live it again, you can.
Oh my god.
Wow. And anyone can do this.
Anyone who can pay for it.
How much is it?
It starts at 800. And depending on how long and the complexity of the illusion, more than that.
Wow. That's a lot of gold.
We provide an experience and an escape that no one else can match.
And in each person's escape, they do whatever they like.
Yes. Company, if you wish it. Or in your case, perhaps alone. Solitude is sometimes just as good.
I agree with that. Well, can I take a moment to think about it?
She reaches in, closes the door. And immediately, like, all those sounds and smells and sights that were kind of washing over you, they kind of disappear, and you're kind of grounded back in the city here.
Does anything else happen here?
What are you looking for?
Well, I originally came here because I heard the Uberti family was here.
I am Senko Uberti. I am the Dream Maker.
You might be able to help me in multiple ways.
I hope so.
Do you need any other services from anyone?
You are offering your services.
In exchange for something?
You wish to work here at Reciprocity.
I believe so. For a certain amount of time, of course.
And what is it you wish to be paid in?
Not necessarily gold, but items.
There is no one around. I assume you came here to speak to me.
I did.
So speak.
Do you know anything about chess pieces?
I am the best chess player.
Oh no.
Well, then I may be your best worker.
You have played for some time?
Not that long, but I'm definitely a competitor.
How good are you?
Very.
Show me.
Oh my arm.
And I'll reach into my
What do you pull out?
all of it.
All ones you have. You have a ways to go.
I do.
Were any of these for kills?
I may have obtained some through killing.
Come with me. She walks down to the next door on this river, and she opens it up. Again, same exact interior, stark white, totally the sort of illusion is gone. It's just a simple white room. And she motions you inside. Closes the door behind you, so it's kind of quiet in here, insulated. And she sits on the bed, kind of crosses her legs. I never had a mind for magic, but I always had imagination, vision. I needed the help of magical practitioners to make my vision something I could share with others. I had not the means, but I had the money. So I bought them. My mages. You met Mr. 1, and I also have Mr. 2. They are indentured, not originally to me, but now I have purchased their debt, and so they are mine, for now. I treat my employees well, without exception. And in return, the respect they show me I feel is genuine. But someone does not respect me, and I want to know who. Mr. 2 has gone missing. Has he run away, and therefore it is he who does not respect me? Or has he been apprehended? In which case it is someone else who does not respect my boundaries. Mr. 2's disappearance placed undue strain on not just my emotions, but on Mr. 1's efficacy. Half as many mages means one doing twice the work. A recipe for overexertion, and sometimes not being able to meet my clients' needs. Bad for business.
I see.
I'd like you to find my Mr. 2, and I'd like you to do it quietly.
How long has he been gone?
3 days.
And you have no inkling of where he could be?
I have some ideas, but first, is this something you could do?
Do I need to work alone?
No, but there is no greater reward. You would have to share.
When do you need him back by? Is there a time limit?
Now would be preferable.
I see. And any leads of where I could start?
In the free time that I grant my indentured servants, they are allowed to go wherever they want within Wampiranina. there is a popular bar in Breakbeer called All Hands on Deck, where Mr. Two has been seen, and through sources of mine, I've heard he was frequently talking to two people. One was the tattoo artist named Butez, who lives in Nakuzi, and also a man they call Hatchet, who apparently has some connection to the docks, and perhaps Myconid contracts. My other lead is that one of my newest clients, and by taking you into this room and offering you this contract, we have entered into an agreement of secrecy.
Of course.
And she pauses on that for a moment. One of my newest clients is Percival Molifair, who recently purchased a plot of land in Naupa. When Percival would come to have his dreams realized, he would spend an inordinately long time in the room with Mr. Two. At the time, I assumed he was just very particular about his vision, but now I am suspicious that there was something else being discussed. But questioning a Molifair is no easy task. I leave that to you. If he has disobeyed me or been kidnapped, and he's removed his cloak and mask, he's a half-elf man in his 30s with a shaved head, and there's a large birthmark on the left side of his face. Anything else?
I can do it.
Do
And
it
what?
for me, and you will be rewarded.
By
A bishop for the retrieval or proof of the whereabouts of Mr. Two's body, if he is dead. A bishop and 2 pawns for proof of his current location, if he is still alive. And a queen for the safe return of Mr. Two, alive and unharmed. At least to the point where he can still perform his duties as a mage.
if I bring him back alive, do I get all of them?
No, you get the queen.
Okay.
I want Mr. Two back. I don't need you to play nice to retrieve him for me. Navika-Puras are wary of outsiders, which I can tell that you are. I wouldn't be surprised if you had to threaten or harm someone to get the information you need. And if it seems like they know something but won't tell you, I expect you to do that to get it out of them. Do we understand each other?
I understand completely. Well then,
Good luck. Bring him to me, and the reward shall be yours. But if I hear that you've been talking about any of the things I have told you here, you will die, and I will make sure of it personally.
I understand.
As you said, a kill can be the most powerful thing.
Yikes.
Surely it can.
She stands, opens the door, she motions. And hopefully you come back for that dream. It was a beautiful one.
Hopefully here or soon enough.
She closes the door, and she doesn't come back down to the fountain area, but you kind of head back down. You see Graven there waiting for you.
Sorry, there was 2 masked people with her?
No, just
Just the
one.
one.
It was
She
just the
has
one.
2, but there was only one with
Okay.
her at the
But
time.
At the
yes.
very beginning, I thought you said it was...
Nope.
You
2
just said
people,
2 people
her
masked.
and one
Got
masked
it.
person.
Okay.
I'm just like not even gonna look at him and be like, let's go. And just walk outside.
So you guys are walking kind of back towards the bridge along the river.
Good, bad?
A mixture of both, I guess. She's offering what I need, but it seems like a difficult task.
Difficult and long, I assume. Time consuming.
It really depends on the information that I can get, but I also need to go to all hands on deck. So if you want to check out his house first, and then head there, that's fine.
The deck first.
Okay then.
Blending right in, calling it the deck. That guy's from around here.
Got it.
Got that nickname
The
down.
bar.
Rolls right off the tongue.
You guys heading back in that direction? Alright.
What did you see in there?
They offer it all for a price. But if you have a dream, they can make it. For a short time, that is. It would be all my gold, so not now. Most of it.
Goes to Erland.
Most of it, anyway. But if I get more of these pieces, then I might be able to just earn it on my own.
Well, let's see what we can do.
Please. Thank you.
With Beezaura digesting the details of her newest, riskiest perhaps contract, that is where we will end
Oh my
tonight's
god.
episode.
That lady.
A lot of places visited, both in Wampranina and Nakuzi and Naupa. And that is where we'll pick up next week.
Wow.
Orba's got a place to be. Beezaura's got a thing to do.
Into it.
Before we leave, Lord Gasumba rated us with 169 viewers.
Hope you
Welcome,
enjoyed that
Lord Gasumba.
creepy interchange. Welcome.
Thanks,
to the
guys.
stream. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you all very, very much, and welcome.
I think they did like a marathon. Or
Yeah, they had like a Gasumba day or something.
Gasumba Day. Happy Gasumba Day.
But it wasn't on the holiday site, but I'm really sorry I missed
Oh
it.
yeah.
Wow.
I don't think it was today, but they did like a marathon of streams or something. So I hope that was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We will be back next week, Sunday at 7 p.m. And we'll pick it up. Things are picking up. Things were a little slow in the small
sweating.
towns, but now that we're in the big parts, the hearts of Navika-Puras,
Oh,
we got a lot to do.
my
We'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful week.
Oh,
Have a good night.
The stress
Oh my
begins.
goodness.